Coast College Cox 3 presents the CIF-Southern Section Toyota Football Championships. Tonight, it's the Division IX championship game between the 12-1 Western Pioneers and the 11-2 Tesoro Titans. And hi again, everyone. I'm Kevin Turner, and we want to welcome you to our Baja Fresh pregame show. It is the grand finale tonight here in Division IX football, the championship game. The top two seeds going at it tonight. And this is the game that every high school freshman has always dreamed about, an opportunity to play their final game for the championship. And tonight we've got two of the finest teams in Division IX, the number 1 and number 2 seed. Western comes in at 12-1 on the other side. Tesoro at 11-2. And both of these teams have had amazing runs through the playoffs. As we take a look at the road to the championship game here tonight, as we take a look at the Western Pioneers, the first round they hammered Covina 48-15. The second round, the same deal, 42-27 over Los Amigos. And in a close one last week against Xavier Hicks, they win it 28-23. And as we take a look at Tesoro scoring 40 points in their last 4 weeks, they finished first in the Pacific League the first time in their history. They beat Century, holding Simon Sun to just 39 yards. He's the county's leading rusher in the second round. Beat up on Troy, and then last week in a thriller at home, they beat La Habra, the defending Division IX champions, 42-25. And let me welcome in my broadcast partners, of course, the quarterback Vince Ferragamo and the coach Bill Cunity. Gentlemen, what a beautiful night for football, great venue, and this is where a high school football game should be played. Western comes in, a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, bitter from last year's loss to La Habra. Bill, you've had an opportunity to take a very good look at this team, and they're ready to play, and they've got some outstanding players on both sides of the football.
Well, they do, Kevin, and the head coach, Toby Howell, played at Western High School, and the coach there at that time was his dad, Jim. And when Jim Howell retired, Toby took over, and he's had great success leading the Western Pioneers in the finals for the second year in a row. He's got a very talented, very big football team. They run an offense that we've seen before, a double wing that's primarily based on the running game, and a very stingy defense. But they're big and they're powerful, and they're led by a couple of great football players. The first guy we're going to talk about is a running back who has some impressive statistics. Devontae Merrifield, if he gains 150 yards tonight, will have rushed for 2,000 yards in this high school football season. He averages almost 10 yards a carry. He's scored 24 touchdowns. And I tell you what, if you watch the game, you don't need binoculars. They give him the ball about 90% of the time. He is led by this guy, Mike Iupati, number 78, 6'6", about 280 pounds, real hard to miss him. 85 tackles, 59 solos, 13 tackles for losses. He is also an outstanding offensive lineman. So when you look at the Western Pioneers, you're going to see size, you're going to see smash mouth football, but you're also going to see a team that's extremely well coached and is really on a roll.
Yeah, Merrifield, speaking of being on a roll in the last 3 weeks in the playoffs, 664 yards and 11 touchdowns. But speaking of being on a roll, and in Fuego, it's the Tesoro Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Vince Ferragamo, you've had a chance to take a very close look at this team. We've seen them the last couple of weeks. They're on fire, offense, defense, special teams, the total package.
They really are, Kevin. They're on fire. They're really hot. They're probably one of the hottest teams in high school football today. Jim O'Connell's got his team fired up. They're averaging 39 points a game, and probably in the last 3 games of the playoffs, they're over 40 points a game. So very explosive offense. What's so different between Tesoro and Western is Tesoro is balanced. They throw the football, run the football, so they do both. And they're led by their top star in the quarterback. Of course, we always have to talk about quarterbacks. They're the catalyst of the entire team. It's Nick Nelson, 6'2", 215 pounds. He's completing 70% of his passes. Who in the county completes 70%? Who in the nation completes 70% of their passes? 24 touchdowns and, you know, only 7 interceptions. So he is the leader. He's just big and strong. I just love the kid to watch him play. And on defense, their most complete football player, most consistent, is Robert Catalano. Linebacker on defense, plays offense, plays special teams. He'll play everything. Leads the team in tackles, 3rd in team in tackles, 2 sacks, can do everything. They're going to expect a big night from him because Western has a strong running game, and they have to stop that run.
Nick Nelson, you got to hand it to him. Never missed a practice, never missed a start. He's making his 36th start tonight in this grand finale here in his senior year. This is the first senior class in the history of Tesoro High School. What a way to go out on top and win a Division IX championship. It's an amazing story. Let's turn it over to the coach for our Baja Fresh virtual playbook. Coach.
Well, this is a play that you're going to see so many times tonight. We may have to not have to use a virtual playbook. The toss sweep is a staple part of this offense. It's a 2 tight end, 2 wing back offense. Devontae Merrifield is the single back, and the Baja Fresh virtual playbook, we're going to show you out of this formation, you'll see 2 wings. Every once in a while, they'll split a receiver out, but they're going to toss him the ball. They'll pull the tackle, Mikey Upati, number 78, and every once in a while, if you're a corner, you see number 78 coming out there to block you, you have to first deal with him, and then the safety may have to make the tackle on Merrifield. So it's an offense that is not complicated. I think Toby likes it because it's easy to teach. You get a lot of repetition, and if you've got a great back like they do, if you got a gun, shoot it. He's the big cannon, and they're going to shoot it tonight.
Well, there's no doubt it's going to be an exciting game, and to beat Western, you got to stop number 3. Well, each and every week we give you, the fans, the opportunity to ask the quarterback Vince Ferragamo, and this week's question comes from Jake in Rancho Santa Margarita.
Well, Jake, that's a good question. With Western's great running attack, will Tesoro stop them? And if they do stop them, how will they do it? Not an easy task to stop number 3, Devontae Merrifield. Great runner. They got a great offensive line. But when you talk about their offensive line, they outweigh Tesoro's defense by 500 pounds. So does that tell you something? So what they're going to have to do, basically, is take their 2 safeties, Jake, Therian and Calcagney, and come from their deep safety positions to come into the box and have an extra man in there that they can't block. They'll have to make the tackle. And that's not going to be easy. They're going to have to wrap Devontae up and take him down. So if Tesoro expects to win this game tonight, fellas, you're going to have to stop Western on the ground. Otherwise, it's going to be a short time clock for Tesoro's great offense.
And maybe add a 12th or 13th defensive back in there as well. and play with some numbers.
Just get 1 defensive lineman that weighs 500 pounds.
Well, each and every week we give you, the fans, the opportunity to log on to Cox3.com and tell us who you think's going to win. And the votes are in this week. Again, another overwhelming vote in favor of Tesoro. 87.5% of the votes. I don't know. I think, gentlemen, I think this one's going to be a lot closer than the vote would indicate it. But anyway, it's going to be a great game. We're going to have the opening kickoff, coin toss. It's all coming up next right here on the Cox 3 Game of the Week. And we want to welcome you to the CIF Southern Section Toyota Football Championships. It's the Division IX final tonight. Tesoro and Western. Let's go downstairs for the coin toss.
Congratulations, guys. There's 2 teams left, and it's you 2. All right? Congratulations. We're going to have a good game tonight. All right? If you're the visitor, you get to call it. That is the head. That's the tail. That's the head, and that's the tail. What are you going to call? It's a head. You won the toss. Do you want to defer? Yes, sir. All right. Western will toss, and they will defer. You want the ball? Which way you want to kick? To the scoreboard? You want to defend the scoreboard? Perfect. Run this way. Tesoro will receive the ball on this end of the field. All right, guys. Good luck.
All right, well, Tesoro will get the first opportunity to get the football tonight. 5 weeks in a row, better than 40 points. Let's head downstairs to Kelly Stavis.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. Well, if you guys can believe this, before the season began, Western's head coach Toby Howell actually called this a bit of a rebuilding year, and yet here they are in their 2nd consecutive CIF finals. Coach Howell says he really didn't know what to expect out of his team. He had a lot of inexperienced players, especially on defense. But he's been pleasantly surprised. His team came out week after week. They worked hard and continued to improve and walked away with only 1 loss on the season, despite playing a tough non-league schedule. Now, and even though they played in the championship game last season, Coach Howell says he doesn't think it gives his team any advantage. In fact, last year, he said his team was satisfied just being a part of the championship game. They had a lousy week of practice and came out and played a poor game. Things are different this year. He says his team has worked hard all week. They've had great practices. They're focused, and they're fired up to play. Just whatever the outcome tonight, Coach Howell says they will not lose due to lack of preparation. Now, the other surprise in tonight's game could be the Tesoro Titans. Not many expected them to be here. For more on the Titans, we throw it over to Garth Wyckoff. Garth?
Well, thanks a lot, Kelly, and definitely the Tesoro Titans have been the surprise team of the Pacific Coast League. And speaking with Coach O'Connell before tonight's game, he told me our motto this week in practice has been finish. We got to finish plays, we got to finish quarters, we got to finish this game. He said, we've been talking about it all year long. It started in spring, and it's culminating with a championship game here tonight. With regard to experience factors, sure, he admits Western has the advantage, but they got all the motivation they need. They were here last year, and they lost. He said he stepped up to the experience factor last week against La Habra, so it shouldn't be a factor. Also, guys, one report on the injury report. Junior wide receiver number 13, Josh Mitchell, he will not play. He broke a collarbone last week in that win over La Habra. Should be a good one here tonight. Let's take it back upstairs for the kickoff.
All right, thanks a lot, Kelly. Great job, Garth, as we get ready to start the CIF-Southern Section Division IX championship game. And there's Cal Cagney dropping back deep along with Scott McKnight. Manny Tafoya will tee it up on the right side hash, 40-yard line. We're at Labard Stadium on the campus of Orange Coast College. Kevin Turner along with quarterback Vince Ferragamo and the coach Bill Cunardy, and we're delighted to have you along right here on Cox 3. And we also want to welcome in our Adelphia viewers as well this week. Western 12-1, Tesoro, an amazing story at 11-2. Tafoya with the approach and the kick, a high end over end kick, and we're underway. It'll be Cal Cagney from the 10, 15, 20, 25, got a seam up to the 35-yard line as Sean Calcagney, who had a 37-yard touchdown run last week, out of the backfield, an outstanding defensive player. As we look at the offense, Nelson, Honda, Craven. Tinoco gets the start tonight at wide receiver. And this offensive line, gentlemen, doesn't get any better. Anderson, Johnson, Hanfield, Weiss, and Queso. And they're mean and nasty, and they know how to get after it up front. There's Nick Nelson on the year. 2,198 yards, 24 touchdowns. The backs will set up in the offset eye. Turn and give left side to Evan Handa. Huge wall out in front of him, and Honda picks up 6 yards on first down. A huge wall of blue took the Western Pioneers right off the line of scrimmage, first play of the game, as we take a look at the defensive unit for the Pioneers. Moyo, Decker, Iapati, we talked about him in the pregame. Pettengill, an outstanding defensive end. And these linebackers, according to Reed Deal, are some of the finest in the county. Barnes, Felix, Brown, and White. The DBs, Devontae Merrifield, Gober, and Newman. They're going to try to occupy Merrifield tonight and double team him and harass him so that they can gas him a little bit and use that to their advantage. On the other side tonight, as there's a stoppage in play, Scott McKnight, due to the double wing, gentlemen, will not play defense tonight. So they think there's an advantage there. Scott McKnight only has to worry about playing offense tonight.
Evan Handa has to come out of the game because of an equipment problem. And so on the second play of the game, we'll see this guy a lot anyhow, but number 3, Sean Calcagney at tailback. They come out in trips to spread this Western defense out.
Calcagney gets the call, cuts back inside, and he is hammered as he comes across the line of scrimmage. Chris White, a 5'10", 210-pound junior linebacker there defensively for the Western Pioneers.
Great fill by Chris White that time from his linebacker inside spot, recognizing that it was a sweep, kind of a version of the Western sweep that you demonstrated at pregame there. But you see Calcagney running to the right side, and nice form tackle there.
You know,
almost
Vince,
for a first down.
What I see here is a thought perhaps by Dave Penhall to make the two-way players for Western run.
Honda denied the first down. Nick Decker came through and just lit up Evan Honda, and that's gonna...
Wow, what a defensive play.
Oh.
Well, when you see where he's playing, he's stacked behind the defensive tackle.
And that was a good call, too, wasn't it, Coach? It was a lead play on the strong side, unbalanced set.
You bet.
They're running right to the right, but there was no change of line on that, Kevin. They just made a big difference in defense. Look at the feel. Look at everybody feeling, and they didn't get any push at all on that offensive line.
Nick Newman, number 35, 6'1", 185-pound senior, is good back to return this punt.
And the punt goes over his head, loose ball. It's a free ball. It's going into the end zone. Who's got it? There's a match.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Tesoro. Special teams. We talked about it in the pregame. A huge mistake by Western punt return man, number 35, Nick Newman. Should have let that one go over his head, guys.
Well, there are two things that happen here. Number one, in a CIF championship game or any big game you play in, and Vince, you've been in so many of these, you know that you need some kind of big play.
Difference maker.
Exactly. You're probably not going to drive up and down the field against these guys.
Right.
So you take whatever you can get, and somebody's going to be a hero. In this case, just a mishandled punt. But, you know, the two things that you have to understand about a game like this, if two teams are definitely evenly matched, some little thing like that is going to change the game.
Right, Coach. In 3 phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams, you have to prepare for all 3. And you said it right. Both these teams are so evenly matched, so good at what they do. It could be a big play on special teams as the difference maker in this game.
Now, I'll tell you what I think the officials are talking about.
Muffed punt?
Yeah, exactly.
Never had possession of
Never
it.
had possession. So
We have a touchback. Once the ball crossed the plane of the goal line,
there we go.
the ball became dead. We're going to have a 1st and 10 for Western.
1st and 10. What a big turn of events.
I'll tell you what
a break for
now,
Western.
They're down there explaining that to Jim. And
But it was a muff.
that's right.
That's the correct call.
That's exactly the right call.
Here's the play here that the receiver's trying to grab the ball, never really had possession, just slipped his hands. The ball is never controlled at any one point until it crosses the goal line, so it's a touchback. Wow, what a break for Western.
There it is again.
Great camera work. And I tell you something else, and we should make this point right now. This field at Orange Coast College and what they've done to this stadium is absolutely magnificent. This looks like a college football environment. I'll
There's
tell you
the
what,
double wing set.
that's got to take your breath away a little bit. You think you have a 7-0 lead.
But here comes Devontae Merrifield on 1st down across the 25-yard line and up to the 26. Coming off the double wing, Devontae Merrifield with some huge numbers as we take a look at the offense trio. Doesn't throw the ball much, but he hasn't thrown a pick all year. Merrifield, the 2nd leading rusher in the county. Gober, Brown, some outstanding running backs. Swift, McClure, Kirpjit, Gonzalez, and Iapati. 6'6", 285 pounds of raw meanness, and he gets after it.
And that's
on
who they just
both
ran over right
sides of
there,
the
Kevin.
football.
Ran over that big left tackle.
2nd down and a long 3 as the ball is across the 26-yard line. Trio is going to hand it off to the first man through. Joe Brown up across the 35 and 36, call it the 37-yard line, and a 1st down for Joe Brown, the fullback. So we take a look at the Tesoro defensive unit. Fehrenbach leading the county with sacks. Dustin Deere, Jeff Mayer, very active last week. Catalano, Simmons, and Leo, 3 outstanding linebackers in the middle for Tesoro. Sam Smith had a great game last week. Thurian, Calcagney, and Kinney get the start as usual in the defensive backfield for the Titans.
Find Merrifield. He's at the wing position right now. Typically in this offense, that single back is a fullback type, and this is the play they like to run.
And he is cut down coming across the line of scrimmage to disrupt the play is Jeff Mayer, and Merrifield is upended for essentially no gain. There's the numbers right there. He only needs 134 yards tonight, gentlemen, to surpass Simon Sun to become the county's leading ground gainer. Look at that average. Gotti, just under 10 yards, 24 touchdowns.
It's almost the 1st down every time you touch the football.
And remember, he didn't play in week 6 and 7,
That's
so
right. Little
that's
banged up still.
without two games, and he had 71 carries less than Simon Sun, yet only trails him by 134 yards. Here's Merrifield coming to the near side, cuts back inside, does a nifty job of evading a tackle out on the perimeter here.
I'll tell you what the defense will talk about every time they come off the sideline, and that is the scheme that they're using, which is 5 and 6 down linemen. You're going to get people in position to make the tackle. You have to make the tackle. And because this guy, I promise you, is not going to go down very often with the first hit.
Well, you see number 26 from Tesoro that time, turning the play in. That's exactly what you have to do. Turn it into your split 6 and let the pursuit come from inside out.
Incredibly tight splits by the offensive line for Western. On 3rd down, here's the give to Brown, and Brown up near midfield, and he easily picks up the 1st down as they approach midfield. Joe Brown, 757 yards coming into this one, 9 touchdowns. And he's one of those unsung heroes. He's one of those difference makers, guys.
They have 3 running backs that can carry the load on this offense. And what Tesoro's going to have to do, we spoke about it early in the pregame. They only have 8 men up there. They have to have 9. They have to bring Cal Cagney from the hole and put him down there, Coach. It's the only way they're going to stop this team.
I think you're going to have to see 9 guys up. And then, if you're Western, the second you see 9 up, you play action pass.
You're going to keep running the football.
Right up the middle to Joe Brown. Joe Brown's got a seam, and Brown down to the 36-yard line, and a 12-yard gain on first down right up the gut.
Kevin, one of the things about this offense, and if you're a high school coach, it's not flashy, but you might want to consider it for 2 reasons. Number one, if you look at this, the linemen do essentially 3 things. They either drive block, they trap block, or they pull. So they learn 3 techniques, and you practice them every day. The running backs, the plays look almost identical, and there are only about 6 plays in this offense. So the learning curve is not great. There's the trap.
And there's your point, well illustrated again, as Joe Brown goes up again near another first down.
If you are the Western Pioneers, and Toby Howell in particular, we talked to him just before the game about this. He said, we are very powerful, we are very confident, and we don't do a lot of things, but what we do. Now, there's the trap, number 55,
wow,
the guard on that trap block, Buddy McClure. He said, we're really good at what we do.
Well, look at Swift and McClure up there, just opening those holes up. Boy, that sure looks nice. Those
that offensive line is well coached.
First down and 10. Merrifield to the near side as Gober comes in motion. They're going to give it to the reverse to Merrifield around the right side to the 20, 15. Forget about it. He might go all the way. He's in. Touchdown. Devontae Merrifield with a touchdown for the Western Pioneers, and that is his 25th touchdown of the year. And the Western Pioneers lead it 6-0 with 5:37 to go here in quarter number 1.
Wow, he's going to be very difficult to tackle in the open field. He just shed one player, just threw him right to his side, and just took over. Cal Cagney was not anywhere close to him, and it was just 6 points written all over that youngster right there. That boy can run.
Vince, I'll tell you something I know for sure, and that is Trio, the quarterback, is probably not going to get a sore arm.
Tafoya's extra point is up and good. 7-0. Western on top of Tesoro will take a timeout. Eight plays, 80 yards, capped off by a 28-yard touchdown run by Devontae Merrifield. And, Coach, you were just talking about what a delightful young man he was. You had a chance to visit with him before the game.
Yeah, Mike Bodkin, who is on the Western staff, used to coach at Saddleback and coached at Santa Margarita. And Mike pulled me aside when we got here tonight, and he said, I want you to meet this young man, Devontae Merrifield. Very polite, very polished young guy. And, you know, I said, congratulations on your year. And he said, well, I've got a whole bunch of great people blocking for me. And he said, you know, I owe it all to those other guys. And
great attitude.
In this world of me, it's kind of nice to hear that. There was a penalty on the extra point, by the way. So this ball will now be put in play. The kickoff will come from the 45-yard line. But, yeah, Kevin, you'd be impressed. He's a pretty sharp young guy.
Manny Tafoya tee it up at the 45-yard line. Sam Smith back in at one of the return men, and this ball will definitely go into the end zone and come out to the 20-yard as Scott McKnight retrieves it. Let's head downstairs to Kelly Stavis.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Well, there's been a lot of talk, of course, about the big man, Mikey Upate, but there's another guy that Coach Howell is looking for a big game out of defensively. That's number 52, Nick Decker. We already saw him with a big tackle early in the game. He's got 51 on the season, 16 for a loss. You see 76 total. 51 of those were solo. 6 sacks, another 6 hurries. Hey, this guy was a backup for the offensive line last year. They moved him to defensive tackle. He's just continued to get better and better. Coach says he always puts himself where he needs to be, but he's not a flashy guy. Back upstairs.
Tinoco, a great-looking wide receiver at 6'3", close to 200 pounds, and he's a physical specimen now out on the perimeter, taking the place of Josh Mitchell. Remember, Tinoco had the clavicle at the beginning of the year. Now at the end of the year, Mitchell's out with a clavicle.
You know, the way, and I'm sure Dave Penhall's got a lot of stuff up his sleeve for this game. As I look at Western, I look at the down 4 guys, I look at the linebackers, I might air this thing out. I might come out and just try and beat them throwing the ball. You see them in a 3 deep right now.
Going to hand it off inside to Evan Handa. Handa hit at the line of scrimmage, and he was hit pretty hard right in the middle there, hit right in the teeth.
Number 32, Joe Brown. And, you know, we're going to be saying a lot of these names, Kevin, because they play both ways. A lot of these guys at Western play both ways. You don't see a lot of guys playing both ways at Tesoro. And, you know, it's 2 different styles. If you look at the sheer numbers on the squads, Western only has about 38 guys suited up.
This ball batted down, incomplete. Evan Handa, who had the last carry, I mean, that young man's been on a roll. This is the first time he's really been healthy in his career at Tesoro High School. He had 220 yards on the ground against Troy, and then 123 last week as we get a look at Max Pettingill right there.
Their defensive line is big. They're tall, they're big, they put their hands up, and that creates a difficult passing lane unless the quarterback can get a little deeper. They're trying to throw some quick passes, and that last time they had a little problem with it.
Hamron comes to the near side. Nick Nelson rolling to the left, throws complete. Another first down for Tinoco. That's his 2nd reception of the night, and Tinoco picks up 12 yards and a first down for the Tesoro Titans.
Kevin, I think that's where you make a living right there. They are a 3 deep team. They like to play with a strong safety and get him near the line of scrimmage. And you know, if you scout Tesoro, that they run the ball very well. So the thing that will probably be most valuable for them will be play action passes.
Nick Nelson that time rolled out, Bill to the left, and threw a strike. He threw a frozen rope right to Tinoco, and Tinoco's become one of his better targets here in the last few games.
Xavier Hicks last week made a living with that intermediate route, hooking up last week. That's where he had most of his completions. Here's Evan Handa getting to the perimeter, and Handa is hit hard at the 45-yard line and just stoned by Merrifield.
That running back could also be a college corner if he wanted to, because he fought off the block and then made a textbook tackle. And Devontae Merrifield, you see on his left arm, he has a kind of a bungee cord there. He has a slightly separated left shoulder. And
as much as he carries the football, I would imagine his shoulder a little bit sore. But you see Handa breaking it outside, and then he just can't get away from Merrifield. Just comes up and makes a great stick.
How good is that?
There's a deep leader.
Yeah. Look at the tight end. Look at
Nelson
the tight end.
Down
there he is.
Looking for Hamron. Intercepted. Intercepted by Nick Newman, who muffed the punt, who was almost the GOAT, now turns into being the hero of the moment for the Western Pioneers, and that's just the 8th interception of the year for Nick Nelson.
I'll tell you what, the pass was just a little tall, but the route was perfect. It was a great call by Dave Penhall.
Well, you see him look to the left, Bill, trying to throw the tight end. Anytime the quarterback looks left when he's got a tight end up the seam, he's trying to make this free safety bite.
That's right.
He didn't bite. Newman didn't bite for the pass, and we saw it up here. The post. But, you know, that ball has to be pinpoint accuracy for that to be a completion.
We have probably the best view up here of anybody. We're almost as tall as the light tower, right?
I'll tell you, this is a fantastic sight line, and credit to Tesoro for picking this venue, as here's Merrifield trying to get to the corner and hurdling, and he'll be ridden out of bounds after about a 5-yard gain. It looked like not much there, but somehow manages to tiptoe down the sideline after he was stretched to the far side and picked up 5 yards on first down.
I'll tell you what you notice about him when you're up close there. He had no shoulder pads on. He is a really strong looking guy, and if you watch on this run, he gets hit several times, but at no time does he ever go to the ground. 1, 2, 3, run out.
Calcagney,
great balance,
went down a little bit too far, and
I'm worried about Tony Leo's helmet. It's come off twice now. We got to get better.
Well, look at this
cheek
defense.
pads. Now they're all up. Yeah, they're in kind of a 6. Oh, there's the trap.
And Joe Brown hurdles over a man and picks up the first down. He went right over the top of Garrett Reuter with 65 tackles on the year, and Reuter gets up a little slow, kind of shaking his head, said, what was that that just hit me?
Well, they're not wasting any time, Kevin, hitting right up the middle, and that's the weakness of the split 6. It's really basically 6-2, which is 8-man front, 2 safeties deep. You see trio there as numbers. It's quarterback.
You know,
in this offense, you don't throw the ball too much.
No, but you look at those numbers at Texas Tech, that would be 1 game.
Well, he averages 6.5 attempts per game and has never thrown for more than 12 attempts in any one game this year. And why? If you've got Devontae Merrifield, Joe Brown, and Isaiah Gober in your backfield.
You know what? It's going to take Tesoro maybe a minute or two to get used to the blocking schemes. But when you begin to pick up on the rhythm of this double wing offense, you kind of have to keep all of your keys in front of you. If you start peeking in the backfield as a linebacker, you're in big trouble. But if you begin to read the pulling guard, if you know what the down block looks like, they certainly have enough people at the point of attack. I think the 2 key guys are the defensive linemen that line up over the guards. Those guys have to have a good game, because if you look, one of the guards is Iupati, and the other guard is number 55, Buddy McClure. Those are 2 great blockers.
Trio is going to throw it for the first time tonight. This ball is picked off by Calcagney. His 2nd interception in consecutive weeks. And Sean Calcagney turns the tide. And the Titans will have the football on about the 42-yard line.
Would that be the first interception of the season for Trio?
That would be.
Well, I tell you what, that was great defensive strategy that time. They were 2 safeties back, and they were just daring them to throw it. This time they were back waiting for the pass, and they just picked this ball off, trying to throw the corner route. And you see Calcagney come into view of the screen there, comes into that view of that pitcher and grab that ball.
You know, Vince, when you're playing an 8-man front, the other great ingredient is you better have a great free safety. And Calcagney did a super job of reading the quarterback.
The lone setback is Honda. They're going to throw to McKnight, his first touch of the night. And Scott McKnight across the 45-yard line, out of bounds there by Isaiah Gober, playing on the perimeter. A gain of about 3. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
You know, Gober is a part of a family act that's been at Western for a while. Had an older brother that was a terrific player there. And I think you've got to get the ball in that guy's hands. I think Scotty McKnight has got to touch it 15 or 20 times in this game. And Vince, you made a great point too. If that safety is going to stay in center field, then you want to start working the outside, just like they're doing here.
On the perimeter across midfield. Honda's got some daylight. He's on his feet. He might go all the way. 20, 15. He will score. Touchdown.
I tell you what, Tesoro did a great job of putting the ball where Western has the least defenders. I just said, if you got a free safety,
right,
and all those guys are packed inside, work the perimeter, work the corners. They ran the little swing route with the lead block. It was pretty.
Dave Penhall's structure to that play was look to the right. He had McKnight and Tanako coming to the right on a quick slant. See him look to the right, then throws the swing to the left, and he's got the blockers out in front of him. This Craven throwing a nice block.
I'll tell you, Craven did another nice job from that fullback position.
Look at the will and the desire as the extra point is up and good. We are tied with 2:05 remaining in quarter number 1. We've got a dandy. Don't go anywhere right here on the Cox 3 Game of the Week. We're all tied at 7. What a game. 57 yards off the turnover. Sean Calcagney, 2nd consecutive week, he's had a huge turnover. As we get ready for the kickoff, and Joe Robles will tee it up at the 40-yard line. Merrifield and Gober deep to receive for the Pioneers. Line drive kick, and Gober's going to take it on the run. Now he's going to drop the ball at the 5-yard line. Dancing around at the 10. He's got a seam. Uh-oh. He might go all the way. He's got some resistance from the backside. And there he is, Sean Calcagney with the tackle along with Robles. And let's head downstairs to Garth Wyckoff.
Well, thanks a lot, Kevin. The Tesoro Titans coming into this football game has been a scoring machine, averaging 39 points, and it's been a large part to the Titan trio. 3 guys that you can count on. Last week, Nick Nelson went off, the quarterback, 2 touchdown passes, and Evan Handa, number 21, been running wild. 123 yards, 2 touchdowns last week, and then Scotty McKnight, the big-time wide receiver, 2 touchdowns right there in that game, 54 and 45 yards. They're going to need them tonight, guys.
Robles, 57 yards on the return. How many times do you see that after a guy drops a fumble or a kickoff, that the lanes collapse and you get a big return off a muffed kick? First down and 10 for the Western Pioneers inside the 45-yard line, and they're going to whistle the play dead. And there was a huge hole as
Kevin,
Merrifield was
you know what
going.
you have to do? That's right, on defense. First thing you do when the huddle breaks, find.
False start on the offense. Repeat first down.
I'll tell you, let's talk about these guys. Robin Hall, who's a
Arizona State man.
Good,
We were at
good friend of mine.
ASU at the same
He does
time.
a great job. Bud Young, Daryl Klein, Dan Muniz, J.P. Arias. And remember, you don't get to do the CIF final game unless you do a good job. And these guys do a great job.
Well, for them to pick up that muffed punt.
Yes, you got to be on top of your game.
That was really good.
Now, first thing I said when the huddle breaks, find number 3.
Oh, yeah.
Know if he's on the wing or if he's at the single back.
First down and 15 as Gober goes in motion, handoff and hammered right up the middle. Simmons just tattooed Devontae Merrifield right in the jaw.
You know what? If you see a single backer in this defensive alignment, you could bet your car that Western is going to run the trap. They're going to run the trap play, and they're going to try and pop that backer. Now, I'll tell you what, if you got a guy who can step up and
watch this. Watch Simmons
do
hit
what
him.
Rob Simmons does.
It's a see a little
bell ring,
some
right?
stars, won't you?
Yeah.
What do you say if your head's ringing? Answer
If
it.
your head rings, answer it. That's right. Might be somebody on the other end.
Second down and 12 for the Pioneers. Merrifield gets dragged down from behind. How about that? Coming in from the backside, that's Taylor Jones with his 50th tackle of the year, pursuing from the backside.
Well, there are some thoughts about defending the double wing that when the back goes in motion on that side, normally they're going to pull the guard and the tackle. And you can chase it down sometimes. And what you saw there was number 42, Taylor Jones, making a play. What you hope they don't have off that is a reverse. Now, here's one of the few times they break the formation and they split a receiver all the way out to the...
Patrick Ohi goes wide to the right.
He's almost on the bench.
And they're going to hand it off near side, and nothing there. Great defensive effort there, and there he is.
Third and long, and they were trying to run the football.
Jeff
Tells you a little
Mayer.
bit about their offense. They're
You
not gonna
mentioned,
throw the
Kevin,
football.
earlier that Reed Deal said it might take them a few minutes to get accustomed to this. Once you kind of catch on to the double wing and you kind of see what they're doing and feel that,
Well, there's not a lot of versatility to
right,
the
Vince.
offense. I
You
mean,
try
once
and
you figure
force
it out,
them.
I mean, that's it.
Try and force them into throwing the ball.
First quarter's in the books. CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships. We have got a great game, and we're all tied at 7. We'll take a timeout and come back with the second quarter right after these words. This portion of the Cox 3 Game of the Week is brought to you by Fam Vans, California's largest used cargo van dealership, and by Dewey's TV and Appliance, serving the South Coast for over 50 years, and Sierra Pool and Spa Service in Laguna Niguel, specializing in repairs and remodels, and by Aero Lift Rentals. Call 1-800-266-LIFT. The punt is blocked.
Another special teams play. I tell you what, the snap was a little low, but there's something in special teams that you must do. And Vince, I don't know if he was there when you were there, but Paul Lanham was the Rams special teams coach for a long time.
Great coach.
I learned so much from that man. He said, it doesn't matter what you're going to do with the punt return. Always have one guy guarantee the punt for just this kind of situation. So here it comes.
Looky here, Ryan Craven, our player of the week last week, one of the unsung heroes, and we talked about how you have to have guys like Ryan Craven to win a championship.
Kevin, look how much they're spreading the formation.
Amazing.
And they do that so they can run.
They're going to run into the boundary. Honda doesn't find any room over there whatsoever. As Evan Handa runs into the boundary, and he gets cut down for a About a gain of 1.5 yards.
We're going to show you in the virtual playbook something that I'm sure you're going to see soon here, the Baja Fresh virtual playbook. If you see this formation, you see a flood on the right. 3 receivers against the sideline, but against this single safety defense, and boy, you can see it right now, the middle of the field is wide open.
Yes,
right
sir.
there.
Hammering.
Now, that time it was the tight end.
That was.
I think you're going to see McKnight in the middle of the field soon also.
That's taking candy from a baby right there, guys. I mean, that's little pitch and catch.
I did that at Halloween. Those kids came to the door. I got a lot of Tootsie Rolls.
Long
There's
lost
Hammering's
start is that
numbers.
big tight end in the middle for a quarterback such as Nick Nelson. He's such a vital clog to the entire offense. And, you know, with a good tight end working the middle,
yeah.
I mean, you've got opens up that outside game, opens up the running game, and, you know, it just opens the offense wide open.
Nick Nelson on 1st down and 10, deep drop, going to throw the swing pass again, and that ball is incomplete.
Okay, let me throw another thing out to you. When the back ran the swing, Newman, the free safety, that time really chased to the side of the swing. Now, if you've got a little pump fake to that swing, you could go back to the post, and the only thing your receiver is going to do when he catches it is hit his head on the goalpost.
Yeah, he will score a touchdown for sure. We only have one deep,
tight end in high
one deep
school
safety.
was,
that's it, Bill.
Jerry Charleston?
Jerry was my high school receiver, yeah.
Tight end?
Yeah, no, he was a wide receiver.
A wide receiver, all right.
Craven in motion.
How'd you remember that name?
Just popped into my head.
Look at Evan Handa squirting through. Evan Honda's got some daylight inside the 15 and down to the 14-yard line on a 1st down. Evan Handa just did a great job of just hunkering down behind that outstanding offensive line. A very patient run, and was able to pick up the 1st down.
Great, a nice mix. So they're spreading out, like Bill said, they're spreading out the offense, and they hit a quick trap right up the middle. Just a big play. Their defense starts to realize that, hey, maybe they're going to throw the ball outside, and they run right up the middle. That's why you have the balance on the offense.
There was
Plays
a nice,
like
nice article in the Register this week about this offensive line. And Reed Deal's done a great job with a bunch of really, really neat kids.
They're going to bunch the formation.
Good
Check down
choice by the
Tinoco.
quarterback. You know what? They had a little flood route over there. He had McKnight in the end zone deep. But normally what happens in flood routes, Vince, right, you get the defensive back, so the longer the quarterback holds the ball, the deeper those guys get, and you just leave one guy on the boundary.
Exactly. The quarterback has to see with his eyes. I mean, he has to see where to throw the football. That time, Tinoco did a great job hooking up. He stopped his route instead of running out of bounds, Kevin. He just turned right there.
That's what Kevin used to do at ASU.
That's just a smart receiver
Pre-game.
and a smart quarterback.
Hey, one of the things that Reed was telling me, and he said, you know, the reason why we've had success is that we can completely throw the playbook out and make adjustments. The reason we can do that is because I got a guy, Anderson, who's a 4.4 GPA on 1 tackle, and I've got Queso on the other side, who's also a 4.4 GPA. He said, I couldn't do that if I didn't have smart guys playing up front.
You know, there's really no substitute for that, because it allows you such flexibility when you have guys that really understand concepts. That's you know what, on Reed's behalf though, they have to be coached, and he's doing a great job of it.
Hey, just a reminder, we've got the ABA on Cox 3, December 17th. The Calgary Drillers taking on the Orange County Crush. So tune in to the ABA right here on Cox 3. And I noted that Dennis Rodman had a brief
how many rebounds can you get in 2 minutes?
2.5 minutes, and he pulls a hammy.
Well, he also got 2 more tattoos in the 2 minutes he was in the game.
Those tattoos are weighing him down.
I think so. Now, look at this. There is no defender. There's no defender deeper than 3 yards, and that's the middle linebacker. So they're in man-to-man defense. You can just see it coming.
And they're going to go right up the middle
There
of
it
Honda.
is.
He's in the end zone. Touchdown. They spread him out, and they went right up the gut. Touchdown. Evan Handa, his 2nd of the night.
Well, the two coaching staffs are similar in this respect. When you see a middle linebacker and guys covering the guards, that's a great time to run the trap. And Evan Handa is a very hard guy to find. Watch this. Boom. Actually, that's just a straight single block. And the center,
great play.
Number 65, just made a great block in there, and that's Adam Hanfield. Wow. That's nice work.
Extra point is
Great
hammered
kick.
through the uprights. It's good.
That ball is on
Out
the
of the
roof
stadium.
and out of the stadium.
14-7 with just under 10 to go here in quarter number 2 as we take a look at it again. Evan Handa rolling downhill, 6 plays, 38 yards, capped off by an 8-yard Evan Handa run. And that offensive line, we were just talking about him a moment ago. Oh, Iapati was looked like a blocking sled as Hanfield and Johnson got a hold of him and rode him into the end zone.
Johnson made a block where he probably should have charged him 50 cents for the ride.
Gober will retreat into the end zone, and let's go downstairs to Kelly Stavis.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. Well, as we watch Devontae Merrifield hammer his way down the field, you really need to keep in mind the injuries he suffered this season. You guys touched on it briefly about the dislocated shoulder he suffered. That was in the beginning of the season. Well, Coach Howell told me before the game that for the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's been hampered by a hamstring injury. He's kept it a secret because he doesn't want any of the other teams to know about it and go for it. But just think about that as this guy climbs up nearly 2,000 yards. I mean, what a season could he have had he been healthy? Back upstairs.
49 yards already. He needs a total of 134 tonight to become the county's leading rusher. Of course, Simon Son done for the season. Full house backfield now. First time we've seen that. Left side going to Merrifield, and Devontae across the 25, 26-yard line.
Well, the way he's running tonight, there's no indication there's any hamstring pull. There's no indication of any shoulder soreness. There's nothing there, man. This kid is running.
Vince, the only hamstring pull tonight was you and me climbing the stairs.
That's right.
Here.
Yeah.
Here's the other part of this offense, Kevin. If you feel like a team is defensing your double wing, you go to the full house. So you have 3 backs lined up across behind the quarterback, and essentially you're a power I formation. You get a lead block on either side. Good job by the fullback.
Joe Brown fights ahead for a first down across the 35 and up to the 36-yard line.
See, if they keep that wedge in there with that lead play, they should march all the way down the field if that defense stays the same.
Joe Brown's lead blocker on that last play was Devontae Merrifield.
7-yard average.
You know, it begs the question for that offense. If Brown is averaging 7 yards and Merrifield's averaging 7 yards, why would you throw?
That's more yards than I had in the whole career at Nebraska.
All right, here it is.
Rushing yards.
Full house again. They can run sweep.
Run the same play.
There's the sweep right there.
Left side to Merrifield. He gets the bounce on the perimeter, cuts back inside, and gets the first down.
Oh, this is a special running back. You
That's
know
a
what?
Great run right there.
For all that abuse that you take, you must have strong legs, because he got hit several times.
And he's not content just getting 7 yards,
right.
Bill. He wants to go for an extra 3 or 4 or 5 yards. That's a great running back. Okay, he could have went out of bounds, got tackled there for a nice 7-yard gain, which is a little bit below his average, but he wants to get above his average, which is 9.7 yards per carry. He makes enough for the first down, 11 yards.
If you talk to this guy and he said, what kind of running back are you? Well, average.
Yeah, average. Yeah,
average, 9.7 yards.
That makes the best running backs. And he can block, too.
Notice that the left halfback is deeper. That's where the sweep or the cross normally comes from.
Merrifield, here he goes again. 13 yards on first down. And guys, in the first round of the playoffs against Covina, he had 267 yards and 5 touchdowns. Against Los Amigos, he rolled for 241 and 4 TDs. As we take a look at the replay right here, and you'll see why he's had such huge numbers. And last week against Fullerton, 156 and 2 touchdowns, 664 yards, if I do the math correct, and 11 touchdowns in 3 weeks of work.
Boy, and that's good math by you, by the way. That was good.
Handoff.
This game is shades of a game I saw about 6 years ago when Carson Palmer was a senior for Santa Margarita. They played Tustin.
Foster,
Deshaun Foster. They ran the single wing or the double wing just like this. Santa Margarita was a wide open offense. And you know that score was 52-49.
I thought that was one of the 2 or 3 best high school games that I've ever seen. You played in one of the best I'd ever seen, the game against Carson. That was crazy.
I
was a young coach trying to, I just wanted to get out of that stadium alive.
That was a great game.
See the back that's deeper, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
That's the guy that's going to get the ball.
Number 15, Isaiah Gober gets the football. and skitters up to the 30-yard line, or down to the 30-yard line, rather.
What we're talking about is, from our vantage point up here, the 3 backs lined up across the backfield. One of the halfbacks is about a half a yard deeper than the other 2 guys. And that is normally the guy who's going to get the sweep play. He gets to run downhill just a little easier from that position.
Very further off the line of scrimmage, and
right.
he can't get up to make his block as fast.
Very
the other 2
difficult
backs are
to
up
see
closer to
that
block. Right.
On the defensive side.
3rd down and 3. Merrifield, the deep back, he gets it left side. And Calcagney can't hold on, and Leo comes over, but he picks up the 1st down. Calcagney had him, but
wow,
take him down, you got to cut him down at the knees, and you can't take a guy like that down by a shoulder pad.
Dylan Gale got a freebie there. You know, they were kind of holding Merrifield up, and Dylan Gale got to come in and put the knockout punch in. Now
what
watch,
a great carry by Merrifield, though, this time. Watch, straight arm.
That
One
wasn't
player
Calcagney, I'm
watch
sorry.
has to run over
watch right
2
here.
players to get
Boom.
the 1st down. That was a great run.
Actually, it's number 36 who made that play, popping
Dustin
inside
Deere.
there. Dustin Deere
Yeah.
came in with the
Great
hammer.
job.
Now, this is a typical Western drive.
It's like the Pioneers did it, slow and methodical. Trio's going to roll, he's going to dump it off, and the ball is caught
Nice catch.
and pulled down by Victor Moyo, a 5'9", 195-pounder.
Victor,
And I
for only
believe-
5'9", went real high. He must have jumped about 3 feet to catch that football, because that ball was laid over a defender's head. And Trio just throws it right over the defender. Nice catch.
Great fingertip catch, and Sam Smith there defensively.
You know, one thing about the philosophy here is if you don't throw the ball very much in your offense, I've always felt like it probably is hard to defense the pass. You know, if you don't see it every day.
Exactly.
2nd down and short. Inside give.
Good
Joe
defense
Brown,
again.
not much there.
You know, if I'm a college recruiter and I'm looking at guys, if I didn't know anything about this game, you look at Iopati and you go, wow, size-wise, okay, fits the bill. What I'm looking for is the knockout punch, you know, the guy that can really finish a block. And sometimes when you're that big in high school, you'd rather block somebody as big as you are. You look at Iopati, the guard, number 78.
Wow, and he's only a guard.
Yeah,
You
the
think he
guys
plays tackle.
that give those people the most trouble are the small, quick guys.
Here's Gober, and Gober met with resistance, and Catalano comes up from his linebacker position and got real low, got into a gap, and made the stop.
If I were recruiting Iopati, I would recruit
As
him as an
Catalano?
offensive lineman.
Great
I
all-around
like him better on offense than I do on
two-way
defense.
player.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Iopati, Toby Howell calls him the great player. But you know what? He's so impressed, not only from his size and his strength, but he says he runs like a deer.
Oh,
How would you like to be
yeah.
6'6", 280 pounds, and run like a deer?
I'd have to
I
get
mean,
on
that's
Kevin's
gotta be
shoulder.
I don't
lethal.
know. I might have to look that up under the prehistoric encyclopedia to really figure that out. As Merrifield gets bottled up in the scrum. And, you know, Iopati was a cricket player in his native Samoa. So,
Right.
you know, he's got good feet. You can't play cricket and not have good,
He played
because it's
rugby
a
over
game
there,
of
too.
reaction, too.
They loved rugby, but they don't play American football in Samoa.
What does Texas Hold'em do for your footwork? Anything? No?
Well, it's good if you're an
Big
offensive
third down
coordinator.
play coming up here.
Big play here. 3rd down, and we'll call it 7. 3rd down and 7. And don't be surprised if 3rd and 7 for this football team is a
Two
sweep.
down territory. Yeah, I
Definitely.
would say the same thing.
It's
Two down
probably
territory.
not going to be a pass.
Full house backfield from the 10-yard line. Right up the middle to Joe Brown, and Joe Brown is going to be denied. He's going to be dropped at the 6-yard line.
Look who's coming up to the booth.
Look at this guy.
The
Former
best
All-Pro
centers ever.
center, Doug Smith.
Big Doug Smith. That's it, Doug.
You know, I understand that they
Just a
redid
reminder,
the stadium for Doug.
Coming
did.
up,
Are you out here recruiting?
we've got the Pro Sports Physical Therapy halftime report, and as I'm sure Doug Smith could use some of that Joe Donahue rehab work for those many years down in the trenches with the Rams.
You know, our families have been good friends for a long time. My daughters used to babysit Doug's kids, but there's a guy who played in the NFL for 15 years, was an All-Pro 8 times, and he can actually walk. You know,
took over for the great Rich Saul.
That's right.
Who went to played 13 years, 7 Pro Bowls. There's a good look at Tony Leo right there, getting instructions from Jim O'Connell. What an amazing story it's been. Toby Howell and his group on the other side, huddling with Anthony Trio and Devontae Merrifield.
You know, it's amazing. Toby Howell's doing a phenomenal job there. He only has one coach, Mike Bodkin, on campus. That means all the rest of the guys are walk-ons. That's tough to do, so my hat's off to him.
See you, Doug.
All right, we take a look here at the biggin.
Now, if this is...
that's just getting mauled right there.
Might be a good wrestler, too. Could you tell that that was kind of like Haystack Calhoun and the single-arm claw hold?
Freddie Blassie.
There you go.
Off the turn.
All right, so what are you going to call, Coach? What do you got, buddy?
I'll tell you what. You only have 2 yards to go.
Let's run it to Merrifield.
I like Merrifield on the perimeter. I like him with the sweep.
Into the short side of the field.
Yep, I like the sweep with the 2 lead backs. They have a lineman at fullback now. Number 52 has been the backfield.
We're going to follow him.
How about this?
Oh, what an unbelievable play. I don't know about that, gentlemen.
You know what, though? If you look in the end zone, number 32, the fullback, was wide open, Joe Brown.
But you're in the red zone. Go with your bread and butter. Go with the proven commodity.
Too fancy.
I don't know.
Darryl Royal said this about 40 years ago. Dance with the one that brung you.
That's right. Man.
That's not good English, but what it means is if you got here running the power sweep, you know what?
Well, you had Nick Decker in the backfield, so you thought you were going to be blocking. I mean, you tried to fake a reverse and then throw the football.
Then he throws to a question mark. He was just trying to get rid of it.
Well, pretty good defense there. I think Robert Catalano was in there too.
Nick Nelson's going to dump it off to Ryan Craven. He tries to turn the corner and his feet come out from underneath him at the 5-yard line. But
it's a nice moving screen.
Yeah,
I like that play because of the rolling out. They're kind of making a rolling screen out of it, which is really interesting.
In an evenly matched game like this, guys, the odd possession, usually that team that has the odd possession will win. Tonight, Tesoro has had 2 more possessions than Western High School, and that could be very important down the stretch in the 4th quarter.
You know, they told my mom and dad. They told my mom and dad I was an odd possession.
As the back set up in the I formation, quick toss to Evan Handa coming to the near side. It's walled off, and Evan Handa goes down.
Nice fill by Joe Brown that time.
That was very good defense, good lateral defense by Western. And, you know, if you're Western, you're discouraged that you didn't get in the end zone. But with 2 minutes before halftime, you know what I'm thinking here? I'm going to call timeout. I would really, it's 3rd and 9. The clock's running. If Western would have called timeout, and if they stop them, they get the ball back with the, you know, a minute and a half.
They'll get great field position.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think it's time for number 12 to get his hands on the ball right here as they go trips to the top side of the formation.
You got to be careful here, Kevin.
Comes to the near side.
Don't turn the ball over.
Garrett back in the slot. Play action. Nelson's got time. Looking, has all day. Good coverage down the field. This ball is bounced up in the air and almost intercepted as he was looking for Tinoco a little late across the middle.
Vince,
but he had all day long. That's great coverage.
Tell you one thing.
I almost grabbed Vince's arm because we're thinking the same thing.
I know.
There's a minute left in halftime. You've got the lead, and you just don't want to throw a pick down here.
Well, you see all the time in the world. Look at the offensive line, the pass protection. But, you know, even better than that was their defensive coverage in the secondary. They covered every receiver. And when that happens, Bill, you have to throw it out of bounds or run it, get back to the line of scrimmage.
Look who's back to field this punt.
A nice spiraling kick.
Returnable.
It's dropped at the 47-yard line and recovered by Devontae Merrifield. A nice kick there by Tinoco.
That, for Tesoro, might have been a blessing because...
That is Stephen Tinoco.
If you looked at the far side of the field, the wide side of the field, if Merrifield avoids one guy...
Well, we've seen 3 big plays on special teams so far. This, to me, is a big play because you have a line drive kick. You have your best punt returner in the game. You need to make a return, and they didn't. They haven't capitalized on any special team plays tonight thus far, and I think that's been the turning point of the game.
There was a great block by McIntyre coming down the field, blocking one of the Bullet guys. So if Merrifield could have gotten outside there, he might have had some room. Now they're back to the wing.
With the wide receiver going to the left
With
side,
the split,
far
yep.
perimeter. And they're going to go that way as Merrifield turns up the field and picks up the first down, an 11-yard gain. And he gets down to the 36-yard line. And
in high school, they will stop the clock to move the chains in the last 2 minutes.
Vince, go back to when the ball was down on the 12-yard line for Tesoro. If Western calls a timeout back there, right now there's 1:09. They might have almost 2 minutes.
Right, you have to
with
preserve
that
that
timeout.
time.
Here's Joe Brown right up the middle, and there's a penalty marker comes out from.
They might get an illegal use of
behind the line
hands
of
up on their
scrimmage.
front line.
I
up
think
there,
that
Bill,
was a hold by Mr. Iupati.
Yep.
We're going to see.
Holding
There we go.
on the offense.
Well, there's some coaching going on down there. There's some coaches telling the referees, hey, watch the holding in the middle of the line. I need all the help I can get.
Now, Western on that last series, they went 13 plays, 74 yards. They took 7 minutes off the
And
clock.
that's the important stat,
and got
the 7
no
minutes.
score.
Yeah. You know, if you go to a Western High football game, you can be home for the 10 o'clock news with Hal Fishman.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a quick game, that running game.
Your favorite guy.
And live team coverage to check out that Doppler radar to see if we can play golf tomorrow.
As the weatherman said tonight, steady variable winds.
Merrifield in motion, and too many people moving this time.
Looked like it might have been encroachment by Tesoro. Let's see what they say. Although if the left tackle moved, that would be.
Try the snap.
That's what it is.
Both
Yep.
short. On the offense. Keep it down.
40 seconds remaining.
You know,
the simple mistakes really kill you, Bill. And in the games such as this, with the magnitude of this game, you cannot have any of that stuff.
I'll tell you, with if there was an underdog, I'm not sure there's an underdog in a game like this. These teams are so evenly matched. If we said underdog from a size standpoint, that would be Tesoro. But I think at this point, their quickness right now is a match. There's
Merrifield
the reverse.
on the far side. Therian trying to hog tie him and just shoves him out of bounds.
That is a great defensive play. You're matched up against maybe the best running back in the county. All you need is a stalemate.
Well, there's nothing really coming into his area for Therian to stay outside. He has to just stay home and wait for the reverse to come his direction. There's nobody threatening him in his area, so he has no reason to back up.
Not sure. I
They've
like
got to
that.
get down to about the.
Off there holding his left arm again.
They've got to get to the 15-yard line for Tafoya to kick a field goal. His longest is 31 on the year. Second down now and 20 with 18 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Tesoro with a 14-7 lead. Joe Brown fumbles the football. Loose ball is on the turf. And I believe the Pioneers were able to pull it back in. Buddy McClure comes up with the loose ball.
You know, Banning High School, where I played my ball, Bill, and you know, I mean, we had such a great running game. But, you know, my brother always believed that we had to make some plays in the air.
Yeah.
And all his quarterbacks, Jamal Holloway, all the quarterbacks through the history of Banning always could throw the football. And I think that's the reason why he won 7 consecutive or 6 consecutive city championships.
Well, I'll tell you what, just watching it as a young coach, when I would watch your brother and those Banning teams, I remember the great running game, but I really remember the passing game. That was something to copy.
Hey, just a reminder, the playlist features local and nationally known artists who play at venues all over Orange County. Currently, the playlist highlights jazz guitarist Mike Stern and Brian Hughes. The playlist airs on Cox Channel 3, Mondays and Fridays at 9, Wednesdays at 8:30, and Sundays at 6:30. That is the playlist on Cox 3. Check it out. 4 seconds remaining here before the intermission.
Try a Hail Mary pass here. Kev,
Well,
what do you think?
You know what trips is, Kev? Down here we have forks.
This is quads, baby. Quads down here.
This is doubles, trips, and forks.
4x4.
How about quad?
I think
That
a
works.
quad would be better. I like forks, actually, but this is when you run quarterback draw.
El Cuatro. Trio throwing it up for grabs. This one is going to be intercepted again by Calcagni. And Calcagney with his second interception, his third in 2 weeks. And that's going to do it. The end of the half, and the Tesoro Titans will head off into the locker room with a 14-7 lead. And gentlemen, it's been special teams, and the little man, Evan Handa, among a field of giants, has been the difference maker tonight so far in this one. And I think we're going to have an opportunity to go downstairs. Guys, you know, special teams execution, this is going to be the difference tonight. And I think that odd possession is really going to play into Tesoro's favor. Let's head downstairs. Garth Wyckoff is with head coach Jim O'Connell. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Kevin. Coach, off to a great start. You told me before the game the motto was finish this week in practice. So far, finishing plays, special teams, your assessment of the team so far?
Well, so far our special teams has really done a great job of keeping us in, and we had a couple of big plays on defense, especially the 4th down play late in the 2nd quarter. Offensively, we're not playing our typical very productive type of offense. We've had some mistakes, and it's hurt us. But you know, they're a very good team, and they've come out. They've done a nice job of establishing some drives. Fortunately, we came up big when we had to.
Well, thank you for your time, Coach, and good luck in the second half. Thank you. Coach O'Connell of the Tesoro Titans up 14-7 at halftime, looking for his first CIF Southern Section title. Coming up next on the Cox 3 Game of the Week, it's the Pro Sport Physical Therapy Halftime Report.
And welcome back to our Pro Sports Physical Therapy Halftime Report. In fact, I had dinner with Joe Donahue on Wednesday night. Sponsors each and every week our halftime show. The score 14-7, Tesoro on top of Western in the Division IX CIF Southern Section Toyota Championships. As we take a look at the first half highlights, it was Western getting on the board first behind that man right there, Devontae Merrifield, taking it in from 29 yards out. That score took place at the 5:37 mark. That was an 8-play, 80-yard drive. And then the interception right here, Anthony Trio throwing his first interception of the year. Sean Calcagney comes down with it, and then Nick Nelson goes to work on a swing pass, hits Evan Handa on a 57-yard scoring strike, and that took place at the 2:05 mark or 2:05 remaining in the first quarter. And then here's the muffed attempted punt here, and blocked by Ryan Craven, our player of the week last week. And then right away, Nick Nelson goes to work, giving it to Evan Handa up the middle. 6 plays, 38 yards, capped off by an 8-yard run. Let's head downstairs to Kelly Stavist.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. I've got Western's head coach, Toby Howell. Coach, your team seems to be getting it done all right. Offensively, you're able to move down the field. The difference has really been special teams. What did you tell your team at the half?
Well, we're just trying to make the most of our opportunities, you know. We're just breaking down here and there, but I think we can put a full half together, we'll be okay.
You also said you didn't want to give up the big play defensively. There's been a couple of them, but overall, how do you think your defense has held up?
Well, if we don't give up those big plays, we'll be okay. I mean, those couple hurt us, and but we've done okay. We just got to put some points on the board.
Okay, thanks for your time, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Back upstairs.
All right, thanks a lot, Kelly. And there's Toby Howell. 14-7 is our score at the half. We'll take a timeout and come back with the second half right after these words. This portion of the Cox 3 Game of the Week is brought to you by the Neck and Back Medical Center in Laguna Hills. End your pain today. And by the Irvine Cheer Academy, where the elite compete. And by Mission Viejo Glass, the largest residential glass company in Orange County. And our good friends at Theodore Robbins Ford, where experience counts. Here's the opening second half kick into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. 14-7 is our score. Tesoro in their first ever Division IX championship appearance. As we take a look at the halftime statistics right there, look at the first down differential, almost 2-1. Well, it is 2-1 in favor of the Western Pioneers. 94 passing yards for the Titans, 181 yards on the ground for Devontae Merrifield and company. And total yards just about even. Turnovers, that's going to be the big difference tonight. And I think special teams, guys. We've talked about it many times this evening.
They choose to come out in the double wing to start with Merrifield back at tailback now instead of being on the wing.
Devontae Merrifield up the middle. He's bottled up after a gain of about 2.5 yards. And
We're going to show you on the virtual playbook something that Tesoro will do with this defense. This is a man in the secondary blitz. Now you can say, do you blitz on passing downs? Well, this is a running team. No, you use it as a run blitz to get 6 or 7 guys at the line of scrimmage and take those gaps away, because this is the team, Western High School, that really relies on angle blocks and pulling guards and tackles. And so far, Tesoro's doing a pretty good job.
Mike Iapati, little premature, coming off the line of scrimmage.
You know, it's very hard to miss a 6'6", 280-pound guy that jumps off sides.
He can't hide behind anybody, that's for sure.
On the offense. Repeat second down.
Well, it's like I think that Caltech might have recorded that movement down there.
A little seismic.
Shakes up here when he starts moving. Second down and 12 just underway. Second half.
That's a very good
defense
job.
Doing a nice job here to start the second half for the Tesoro Titans. Joe Brown on the carry there. And
it's like they're coming out the second half just kind of wandering through the motion here instead of really being focused and say, look, we have one more half to play in our season. Let's make it good.
Let's
right. Go.
There's got to be a sense of urgency.
Right.
You know,
I mean, they haven't did anything yet.
I think the players have to feel that too. And right now, I think Tesoro doing a great job of gap cancellation defense. And that is get in those gaps and make sure you stuff the running game. Ball's on the ground.
Ball, and I believe who's got it? Looks like Tesoro's signaling that they've got the football, and they do.
Well, I'll tell you what, this side of the stadium, which has fans from top to bottom and side to side, just going crazy, because those are the kinds of things that really, in a game that's going to be this close, are going to be the difference.
This game is played on enthusiasm,
Jeff
Coach.
Mayer
You know
right
that.
there.
I mean, there's no feeling. There's the rhythm. There's the movement. There's the excitement brewing on the blue team, and the white team is not doing much.
How about Scott McKnight right now, right off the turnover?
Well, you've got 4 wides. And
going to Scott McKnight on
going
the
to the slant. If you go to 4 wides and you have a single safety, which Western does, you can run double slants on both sides and let Nick Nelson take his pick. But he's got the convenience store numbers going there. 7-Eleven, 94 yards, and checking his wristband.
And the one overthrow, slightly overthrow.
Yeah, I still love that play.
It was. They'll come back to it.
Yeah.
They have to come back to it with one single safety.
Second down and 10. Evan Handa, nice nifty spin move to avoid a negative play, and gets up to the 20-yard line. A gain of about 3.
But you know, when you have a play that's a negative result, you're hesitant to come back to that kind of play. But you're looking at Evan Handa, who's had a great half, caught the swing pass. Don't have those stats on there for that long pass reception.
I was just thinking that same thing. I'm looking at 5.3 yards, and then the other one was a catch. Look at this.
Look at that. One
Marcus
pass.
And the people in the truck are right there.
Hey, nice job.
That was Marcus's average in high school. 1 catch, 55 yards.
3rd and 7. Ryan Craven picks up the first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, give some credit there to Dave Penhall, because the linebacker keyed on Handa. And if you watch what Handa did, he ran a swing to the right. They sneaked Craven on a little circle route.
But it was delay. It was a delay, Coach, which was really nice.
Look at the linebacker. He looked at Handa, and boy, what a perfect read by Nick.
Right.
Boy, Nick has had some trouble with the footing tonight. That's the second time he's really not been able to stabilize that load step.
You know why?
Good looking play, Dave Penhall.
He's used to the Astro dirt instead of the Astro turf here.
1st and goal. The backs will set up in the I formation. Offset. Handa right up the middle, and Handa runs right through Iapati. How about that? There's about a 120-pound differential there, and Evan Handa took him on head on.
I'm trying to remember which play I've seen that in the NFL run last year for the first time. I think that was a Carolina design play, Bill, where they delayed.
Little delay.
Craven, he looked right. Here's a running play here, lead play, and Handa just following his lead blocker. Nice looking play.
Handa was able to get underneath. McQueen steps into the lineup for the first time. He goes wide to the right.
Ooh, here's that man-to-man again. Man-to-man. Weak in the middle.
Evan Handa trying to bounce, and he almost was able to delay and bounce to the outside, and he gets down to the 3-yard line.
Travis Kirkwaite, 6'4", 265-pounder, made a very good play on defense right there. Is a good look at him. I'll tell you what, there is some serious size on that Western football team. And what Tesoro's doing right now is maybe just out-quicken them a little bit.
Looking at number 68 right there, Travis Kirkpatrick.
Okay, 3rd down, and the ball's on the 3-yard line.
You take two shots at it?
Well, I do, and they're bringing Hamron in right now.
Scotty McKnight comes all the way over to the left side in man coverage, and
yeah, you know what? That's
Nelson's
smart.
Going to call a timeout.
That's smart. Call timeout. Let's get all the right players in. You know who's in the game right now is number 9 for Tesoro, Garrett Beck.
Tall receiver.
Yeah, I think the matchup there would be perfect. You've got 2 tall inside receivers.
Let's go downstairs to Garth Wyckoff with our cheer of the game. Garth, take it away.
You know, it's my favorite time of the game. It's the Magic All-Stars cheer of the game. And joining me now, the Tesoro Pep Squad. Are you ready, gang? Show me your spirit. Here we go.
Everybody else go! Go! Everybody else fight! Fight! Everybody else win! Win! Go! Fight! Win! Let's hear it! Go! Fight! Win! Yay!
How about that? The Tesoro Titans varsity cheer. Let's take it back upstairs to KT in the booth.
You know,
I can't help but watch Garth, man.
Garth,
Where's all his rhythm?
when you get down that low, you do look like the Munchkin.
He's got to do a herky.
We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild. We represent the Lollipop Guild.
Oh, boy.
We welcome you to Munchkin Land. All right.
All right, here's big play coming up.
3rd and goal. They flex out.
Can you tell they're in man-to-man? That's a simple way to find out.
They're staying at home at tight.
Now
They're looking for the run.
There's more guys in the box than you can block, so they're going to run
Nelson
option.
on the
That's
option.
brilliant. That is brilliant.
Oh! Evan Handa, is he in?
That is brilliant. That is a great play call.
Touchdown.
There's more guys in the box than you can block. You spread the field. You know they're in man-to-man, and you don't have to block all the guys when you run option. That's wonderful.
Spread them out, run the option, pitch on the end man line, and let the back do the rest. And that little guy right there just did the rest. Watch him take the pitch.
Watch him finish
and
here.
watch this. This is the finish that O'Connell was talking about. Get in the end zone.
His 3rd touchdown of the night. Robles' kick is up. Boy, is he really hitting it tonight. 21-7, Tesoro in the Division IX championship game on top. (21-7), and there's a good look at the Tesoro cheer and song squad having a great time tonight. 7:37 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 21-7. That's the 2nd touchdown that Tesoro has capitalized on off a turnover. 3 turnovers tonight for the Western Pioneers. 1 turnover for Tesoro.
Big kick.
Robles hammers it
in the
into the end zone.
again.
No dice.
I tell you, that's a weapon because you have great athletes returning kicks, and when they can't do that, the ball goes to the 20. You sure give your defense a nice break. So
better make sure you got a good kicker, huh?
Excellent job by Joe Robles.
Robles, MVP, buddy.
You know, I was talking to Dan Birch before the game. Dan is the principal at Tesoro, and I know he was thrilled when he was chosen to be the leader of a brand new high school, and we were talking about opening new schools and what a challenge it is, but boy, he's got to be thrilled with the parent support and what this whole group. The baseball team went to the CIF finals last year, and here are the football guys right now.
And the basketball coach has gone, what do I got to do to keep my job?
That's good. It kind of raises the bar for everybody.
Yeah, a little bit. Merrifield on the carry. Not much there, about a yard and a half on 1st down.
Here's one other thought. Good numbers, 14 for 104, 7. He's close to his average. But here's another thought about the double wing, and that is it's not a very good offense when you're behind. it's not.
There's no reason to panic though, at this point. You
not
really
a quick strike.
You have to drive down the field.
This was the drive right here, guys. That 13-play, 74-yard drive. They took 7 minutes off, and they didn't get a score. And Tesoro stopped them on 4th down on that goofy pass play. Here's Joe Brown on the outside. Brown tries to cut back inside. Fehrenbach is there, and to turn him back inside is Calcagney.
Good game.
Well, I tell you what, I know Mike Milner's got to be pleased with that play out of the secondary, because cornerbacks are taught from day one to cover receivers, and you get to knock down passes and intercept them. When you play a team like this, cornerbacks have to tackle. And there's a good picture of Mike. And boy, we just last week got a chance to see his son Michael, who was a freshman this year at Aliso Niguel. He was Defensive Player of the Year there on the freshman team, and a chip off the old block.
3rd and short, up the middle. Through the hole is Joe Brown on a 1st down up to the 39-yard line.
Now, if you're Tesoro right now, if you are one of those safeties, you know, you have to be like the scrappy dog in the junkyard, man. You have to make the tackle, whether you have to grab an ankle, a pad, a shoestring, or whatever, because with this offense, their long pass is that run right there. Where some teams throw it to the receiver, their home run play is a trap or a dive.
Back to the full house backfield on 1st down and 10, just shy of the 40-yard line.
Oh,
and bottled up in the backfield, hit 3-4 times, and look at that surge by the defensive line. Led on the inside there. Chris Penhall came in and just tattooed.
Great defense, and that's what I was talking about from the outset. That time there was 11 men up there on the line, and they're just daring the offense to throw the football. You know they're not going to throw the football, so jump everybody up there and stop them before they get running.
Well,
look at
Vince,
that Catalano shot.
Exactly.
Wow.
We talked a minute ago about the man blitz, where you actually run a blitz play against the run, and you're going to try and fill every gap. And in that time, they had a chance to spring Robert Catalano free. Now it's 2nd and 11, and for them, still probably not a passing down.
Here comes Merrifield on the inside. He's hit by Leo and company. Tony Leo, boy, he has had 2 big hits
They're
tonight.
filling the gaps,
right in the
Coach.
face
They're
of
coming up, and they're having 1 extra player in there that cannot be blocked.
Look at him. He's got
they're
that.
really doing a great job.
He's got that killer instinct. He's got that little lean going right now. Bring it back.
Oh, he's the leading tackler of the team.
You know what?
I mean, he makes all the tackles anyway.
Do y'all get a feeling that the defense is becoming more familiar with this offense?
But you know, the natural progression for this Pioneer team, Bill, is to go ahead and instead of being double wing, to go single wing, and then have 1 receiver out. Then the normal progression will be 2 receivers out. So you can get a little more familiar with the passing game and open things up with great runners, even make them even more effective.
Last week in the game against Fullerton, Merrifield was able to get the perimeter, but tonight they have not been running the perimeter with him, and now they are going to try to get the perimeter, and here he goes around the corner with a straight arm, but not much there as he's knocked out of bounds across the 41-yard line, but well shy of the 1st down.
Kevin, if you can make him run sideways, you have a chance. If he ever gets his shoulders turned up the field, as judged by his average, he gets you 10 yards a carry. But that is really good defense to string him out. You know, this field's only 53 1/3 yards wide, and with his talent, if you can make him run left and right, that's a good thing.
Buddy McClure sets up at the 28-yard line. Deep to receive is Calcagney. He'll set up at about the 25. He's going to back inside. Ball takes a bounce, skitters inside, and kicked, and that's not going to work.
That's touched.
The ball will be marked at first touching, and that's one of those situations where if the kicking team touches the ball, the receiving team could pick it up and fumble it and still get it at that first point. Look at that guy. Western is going south. I like that.
Clever.
You know what? We'll probably see that guy on the football field in about 5 years, right?
Yeah, there's another group of kids right below us to our right.
You know, we saw your
son.
Yeah, we saw your boys tonight out there, and I'll tell you what, don't blink, my man. Yeah. They're going to be 20 before you know it.
All right, the backs will set up in the offset eye. 3:49 remaining in 3rd quarter. 21-7. Tesoro on top, capitalizing off 3 turnovers. and Evan Handa up the middle for a gain of about 3.
Oh my gosh. I'll tell you, I don't know if we have that on film, but number 75, we talk him about it a lot, Evan Queso, 6'5", 243, just got an absolute pancake block. And I'm sure for his folks and the Queso family,
would love to look at that one.
They're going to look at that and say, you know what? Let's replay that about 11 times.
I believe Queso, that whole group has got more pancake blocks than an IHOP franchisee.
Nice timing on the throw.
Tinoco
Wow.
with his 3rd catch of the night. Look at him rumble after the catch across the 40-yard line and up to the 43.
If we have a replay on this, Nick Nelson does a great job. If you want to do a training reel, this is the play. On a sprint out, throwing off your right foot on time, right before the receiver turns. Watch this, a sprint out on his 5th, 6th, 7th step. Boom, the ball zips out of there, and the receiver just turns, catches it.
That's that
Beautiful.
intermediate hook route.
You know what you can't see with Michael Tinoco is, you said it, Kevin, he ran a gorgeous route. He dipped his shoulder like he was going to break to the sideline and snapped it back inside. And I'll tell you what, that's just really difficult to stop.
6'3", 194 as a wide receiver.
Got the corner.
Evan Handa down the sidelines. Evan Handa cuts back, still on his feet, across the 35 and down to the 34-yard line. Evan Handa continues to electrify the crowd here tonight in the CIF Division IX championship game, and Evan Handa has been on fire
He's
through the playoffs.
running like a Ferrari.
Does it seem to you as if Tesoro is gaining more momentum in this game the longer
Absolutely.
this game is being played offensively and defensively?
I
Where
see
you
the,
normally with the great
look at
runners,
that
they
block.
get stronger as the game goes on. I think the defense has stepped up, and they've become stronger.
They're playing with that urgency that we talked about.
13 carries, 78 yards, plus the 55-yard touchdown reception. And here's the give left side. Let's go downstairs to Garth Wyckoff.
Well, thanks a lot, Kevin. You know, you were speaking earlier about this offensive line, and Coach O'Connell tells me they are the exact reason why they're in this game tonight. They've been the heart and soul, the bread and butter of this football team. He also talked about a couple Ivy Leaguers, Eric Anderson and Evan Queso, students of the game. Both of those guys, as you alluded to, Kevin, 4.4 GPA, number 15 and 16 in their class, respectively. But you can't forget about the rest of these guys, Jason Johnson, Ryan Weiss, Eric Hamron, and Adam Hanfield, the heart and soul of the Tesoro football team. Let's take it back upstairs.
Well, you are the heart and soul of our broadcast, brother.
That's right, Garth.
The Razorback man.
Hey, I got a question for Garth. Did you know that Eric Anderson is in the 1,000-pound club? Squat, bench, and power clean.
Wow.
1,000. The only player on the team for 1,000 pounds.
I think I was in the 100-pound club.
Well, I tell you what, that'll be a nice find for Princeton or
Oh, you're
Harvard
not
or Dartmouth or somebody.
Wow.
Like
That was Scott McKnight's first catch of the night, but credit Tinoco because McKnight's been somewhat of a decoy tonight, and Tinoco has had a huge night tonight out on the perimeter. And you take what you're given, and the
You know what? We are almost at the end of this third quarter. That went by quickly because of completed passes by Tesoro and the running game of Western.
backs are in the offset eye on 3rd and 10. The look back coming this way, and the ball bounces up in the air and off of Cal Cagney's hands, and they had it set
Did
up
they
at
have
the
the
30-yard
screen?
line.
Yeah, it's
A
kind of
little-
a hot pass to handle.
little
Right
too much
back
hot
coming out
sauce
of
there on that
yeah.
screen.
Little sprint right throwback screen. It looked like
Too much salsa in that one.
yeah, chili pepper.
The
Come on.
Baja Fresh
Yeah.
picante.
Leave those jalapenos off of that one, will you? You got that play. Have you always believed in that little play card on your arm? I used to hate that thing when I went to Buffalo.
I never have my quarterbacks use
Gosh,
those.
darn.
It looks good. I used to put jokes on it.
Here we
covers
go,
it up, though,
4th
with his
down, guys.
wristband.
There's the curl route
Nick
again.
Nelson
There it is.
looking, throwing, and Scott McKnight. Did he come down with it? No, incomplete. Juggled it,
You
hit
know
the
what?
turf,
Look at Tinoco.
incomplete.
Now, we used to tell guys, if you are that open, do not stand there and wave. Run to the sideline, and we'll come back and throw it to you again.
Here's a play here that could have gone either way, but a great job by number 12. We haven't called his name much tonight. Scotty McKnight.
Just one
Taking
catch
that
on
ball
the
away
night.
from the defender. Almost catches it. Just drops it.
That's a neat little route. I know, Vince, you guys, we called it a sail route. The inside guy runs a little bit of a bend toward the corner. The outside guy was running the go route, and you just try and find that seam.
Right, tough one to fit it in there.
It's going to be a huge series right here for the Western Pioneers. 35 seconds left in the third. Play action.
Oh, wide
Trio
open, wide open.
Down the field. He's looking for Gober. He's got Gober, and he dropped the football at the 33-yard line. He threw the ball too late, had way too much air underneath it. If he throws that on a dart, Gober's dancing in the paint right now.
You know, if you don't throw it all the time, I believe it's really difficult under tense situation like that to be real good at it. I mean, the
play action, nice call right here on 1st and 10. Quarterback just waits a little too long, then really hangs up the ball up a little too much, puts too much air under it. The receiver has to wait too long for it to come down to make that catch.
Yeah, some credit to Sean Calcagni,
because
it's real hard to catch it when you're getting smacked.
Well, they had the right play and the right call on.
Good call by Toby Howell and his staff.
2nd and 10 from the 34-yard line of Western. Inside give goes to Joe Brown, and nothing doing now on the inside.
You know what? That was a
Leo,
safety blitz.
Simmons, Deere, all right there defensively.
Did you see who was coming that time? From his safety position, number 3, Sean Calcagni. That's I don't know if we have that on replay, but that's another run blitz. Nice job by Jim O'Connell and his staff. That's
well, you know, when they throw a ball and they don't have any success, you know the next play is a run all the way.
Gentlemen, we are heading to the 4th and final quarter of the 2004 season here on Cox, and the Tesoro Titans have a 14-point lead here in the final, 21-7. We'll come back with the 4th and final quarter right after this. This portion of the Cox 3 Game of the Week is brought to you by the City of Mission Viejo and by MVP Sports Centers, developing tomorrow's athletes today, and by Aero Lift Rentals. Call 1-800-266-LIFT. And, you know, guys, I really think this has been a great year, and I really appreciate you guys rolling out the red carpet for me in my rookie year. And I also want to thank the staff and everybody at Cox 3, from you know, Tina and Marcus and Gordon and everybody working the cameras and the playback decks, and Bill Fennell and Bridget Kelly. Everybody, great job. Thank you, and can't wait to do it again next year.
I'm sure Vince and I echo that. It's just a great group to work with. Halfback pass.
Merrifield's looking to throw it down the field, and this one's going to be batted down. Calcagni, but Calcagni was right on the top of the Ojai right there. And he might have gotten a little bit too aggressive there, but no call.
You know what? I mentioned this early on, that if you were going to play an 8-man front against a solid running team, I still think you have to have a great free safety, a guy who can erase any mistakes or play action passes, and that's the young man right there. He's done a great job.
Great game. This kid has played a great game. I would have to put him up as the MVP of this game. Here's a reverse pass by Merrifield. Just throws kind of a desperation pass, with Calcagni coming in there and making sure he doesn't catch it.
I'm going to agree with our producer, Marcus Williams. There's a little PI there, but I think maybe it was a little uncatchable, so a no call.
Nice job by the punter.
And it takes one of those field turf bounces and absolutely goes nowhere. Mayonnaise, slush, 35-yard line. And the Tesoro Titans, with 11:41 to go, are away from their first ever championship and a date with destiny. This is just an amazing story. Regardless of how this game turns out,
it's been a storybook career.
An amazing
career, because look at where these gentlemen started out. They were getting blistered every week. They won one game their first year, and now they're seniors. They're all playing together. They're winning. They're in the championship game, winning the division. Could win it all right here in this game.
Honda down the sideline. Honda stays in bounds and picks up the first down. 13 yards on first down for Evan Handa.
You know, what we're watching here is something very special, and that is, in my estimation, a really great definition of team.
Exactly.
There are a lot of great players that are making this happen, but if you said, pick a guy that Tesoro absolutely couldn't do without,
you couldn't name one.
And I'd say, you know what? If one guy got hurt, they'll plug someone else in.
Somebody else.
And so I think Jim O'Connell and his staff have to be congratulated for really creating a tremendous team atmosphere here.
Handoff again to Honda. and he is upended at the 47-yard line. You know, there was an interesting notation on the website, the Tesoro website. If you guys haven't checked it out, you got to go check out tesorofootball.com. But there was an article that Jim O'Connell put in there that was written by Peter King about his experience as a parent following his daughter through her high school softball career, and how difficult it is for a parent to be there with the child and dealing with wins and losses. But he said the kids really are there for the effort, and if they win, that's great, but if they lose, they don't take it as hard as the parents do.
That's true.
And there was an amazing quote that I'll get to in just a moment, but the quote is, winning isn't the moral of high school sports, the effort is, and the commitment is. And I think that's what's important in high school football. Right. It's really about the effort and the commitment.
I agree with you 100%. Peter King is one of my favorites, but I think that kind of stuff is, you know, and parents take it to heart because, gosh, you know, you love your kids, and you maybe only get to do it one time, but I think for all the people in this stadium tonight, they've got to be proud. The Western people have to be extremely proud of what Toby Howell and his group have done.
Here's the swing pass. Catalano's got a great catch at the 40-yard line and a first down. Gentlemen, you're not going to see a finer catch than that.
Well, you're not going to see a better throw either because he had to thread it right through 3 defenders.
And we're looking at a
you guys, quarterbacks, you keep overruling the receiver. You guys are killing me.
Actually, you know what? That's what Bill was saying. This is a team effort.
It's a team
this is the throw
right
and the
there.
catch. I mean, there were both great plays on that one. The receiver knowing when to reach out and catch it. The quarterback not throwing it laterally, throwing it forward.
How about that guy right there? Last year, he is the main running back.
900 yards.
They move him this year, and he's become such a force on defense, but what a valuable commodity, you know?
82
Look at
tackles.
the corner. They get
Evan Handa got a huge wall of blockers out in front of him.
You know,
Ryan Weiss out there,
I've
seen
some
grade, and there's old number 50, just Eric Anderson. He is nasty, 6'3", 272, a 4.4 grade point average, one of the senior leaders that won't be replaced, no how, no way, along with Evan Queso. Those guys take a huge leadership role. I was talking to Reed Gill, and he said, these guys are like extra coaches on the field for me.
Exactly. I mean, his heart and soul of the whole team has been his bookend offensive tackles. And, you know, they set the tone. They really do.
Take a look at McKnight. He is wide open right now. Nobody's covered him right now. They're going to hand it off to Cal Cagney to the near side, but he was, if
you know,
Nelson
this is smart football. This is very
there.
Smart football because they're running the football coach and they're working on the clock. They're working the clock down. They want championship. They're smelling it. They
working the body. Working the body.
They're doing it.
You know, they have, well, you know, Kevin, really, if you're a boxer, this would be a whole bunch of body blows. But the play that they have run over and over again is what we used to call bounce. It starts at the off-tackle hole, and then it bounces outside. And the offensive linemen get their head on the outside of the defender and just run them up the field. And I'll tell you what, I say if you had to give marks to the offensive lineman, you'd have to say that Tesoro's offensive line, every one of those guys gets an A.
Tinoco, the slot guy on the top side of the formation for the second play in a row, is uncovered.
False start on the offense.
Now, was that on the quarterback kicking his leg back? Because when I used to play high school, that was okay to do that.
I think you can still do that, but I think the left guard actually moved just before the snap. And, you know, Kevin, you've seen something, defensive coordinator now trying to get the attention of the strong safety, and that is number 13, Angel Felix, because in the Twins formation, inside receiver, as you said, has been uncovered. Now they cover him.
Now they come up on him. They're going to go play action.
Corner out.
Tinoco, and they're going to drop down underneath, and the ball is short hopped on the far side. And Garrett Beck was the intended receiver, and it falls incomplete. It'll bring up second down and 15.
My quarterback in 1996, Justin Vetter, used to say, Coach, I can hear you yelling on the sideline which guy to throw it to. He said, I have a better view than you do. You know? He was right.
There's a good look at that offensive line unit right there. Nick Nelson has had plenty of time to throw the football tonight.
And Garrett Beck getting more action tonight because Josh Mitchell is hurt. Was hurt last week, giving him a chance to play a little bit.
2 tight ends, which is a bit of a changeup.
Offset eye. Going to stretch the field. Handa trying to sneak back inside. And there's a penalty marker that comes
they're going to
out
call
at
a hold.
35.
It's a way to string it out on defense.
You know, the guy's having a tough time out there. Number 88, Max Pettengill for Western. He has to line up in front of Queso.
Captain.
And that's a tough job tonight.
So they're talking about a big 2nd down or maybe 3rd down call here. Now, you know, if I was Western, I'd decline it because I don't want any more time to run off the clock. I would not take the major call.
When you're playing offense and you see the defense in the 4th quarter with 8:36 to go,
Holding.
hands on hips, and the head lean into the side.
2nd down.
See, I would have turned that down there, Bill, and
read
took
the body
down.
language.
There's 8 minutes to go. I'm down by 2 touchdowns. I need the ball.
You wind that clock in now. There's 8:30 and counting in for about, as I was counting on the roster for both of these teams, about 32 senior football players. Last game of your career.
17 of them have had better than 30-plus starts in 3 years. McKnight in motion. They're going to look to McKnight across the middle on the delay. And Nelson's going to go down back to 49.
I would applaud my quarterback for doing that. You know, say, let's not throw the pick. Let's punt the ball if we have to, live another down. But, you know,
They've had pretty good coverage downfield most of this game, Bill.
This is interesting for Tesoro because it is now 3rd and about a mile and a half. In my playbook, I never had a play for 3rd and 31.
Well, it looks like they're in a soft zone. I'd probably run a little screen here and see what I can get for it.
Either that, Vince, I agree with that.
Better complete it, though.
Or draw. I like draw to Evan Handa because you look how
if he can break
spread out
through the line,
defense is.
he can run.
There's the draw.
Oh, nice move there. Nifty move by Evan Handa. It's going to go for about 5 yards, well shy of the 1st down. But
now, you know what? 4th down,
effort.
you punt it down there and play defense
Clock's
again.
running.
And the clock is running is right. There's a whole minute that has gone off the clock running that play. So I almost said a whole minute went off the clock in that last minute.
All right, Yogi.
It's late in the year, isn't it?
Yogiism.
That's right.
Look who's back to return this punt.
Devontae Merrifield better get some coverage down there because he dropped the last one. You might pick one up inside the 10. Tinoco boots it away, and he's going to let it come inside the 5. They better drop it down and get it right at the 1-yard line. Unbelievable punt by Tinoco as it's dropped inside the 1-yard line. We'll take a timeout. 21-7. Tesoro rolling here in the 4th quarter. And we want to welcome you back to Labard Stadium. Beautiful shot there of this newly refurbished stadium on the campus of Orange Coast College. Field turf. Here we are up on top of the Mount Labard here. Beautiful sight lines. And here's the handoff on the inside to Merrifield. And Devontae up to the 4-yard line. Gets out of his shot of his own end zone there with 6:23 remaining. Let's head downstairs to Kelly Stavis.
Thanks a lot. Kevin, you guys were talking about Western's passing game or lack thereof a little bit ago, and I talked to the coach about it a little bit before the game. Of course, they only use it for big plays, although it has not been successful so far tonight. And I asked him, now what if Tesoro finds a way to stop your running game? He said, we pack our bags and go home.
Drug out of bounds, touchdown saving tackle there by Sam Smith. And Kelly, go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Just they picked it back up there, but he said if our running game doesn't work, we are going to have a tough time to win this game. It's always kept us in the hunt in big games. We haven't won a championship with it, but we've been doing it for years, and they're going to keep doing it. But so far tonight, the more balanced attack of Tesoro seems to be more effective. Kevin?
Thank you, Kelly.
How about that for getting out of the hole? You have the ball down where the quarterback's standing in his own end zone, and Merrifield gets it out to the 43-yard line. Boy.
James Covarrubias, our statistician, just passed me a note. 156 yards for Devontae Merrifield. as Brown goes up the middle for a gain of 9.
Nick Therian, number 6, comes up to put an end to that run. Now, if you're Western, Vince, this is that sense of urgency we were talking about.
That's right.
You hope it's not too late if you're Western. You're saying, well, there's just a little under 6 minutes, and all of a sudden we're playing with that fire again. But you got to get 2 scores, and
well, we've seen some crazier things happen.
Sure.
I mean, they can score a touchdown, kick an onside kick, and take their last drive and go for the tie or go for 2.
Merrifield gets the call again. He's getting inside in a hurry. Right when he gets to the tackle, he's taking that step and then just punching it inside, and he picks up 7 yards on first down.
Well, the double wing has a couple of options, Kevin. When you run the sweep, if you get the reach block, you take it outside. If the defense starts to skate out there, you kick a guy out and turn it up. I think Merrifield now is probably a little more reluctant to go outside. He likes the inside part.
Gober in motion. Joey Brown on the inside up to the 35-yard line and a first down.
Doesn't it surprise you some that with a double wing, they don't run any option?
Yeah,
I mean, I would think that with this kind of offense and these kind of backs, I'd use some option as well.
Just a reminder, coming up after the game, our Huntington Learning Center post-game report and our Baja Fresh players of the game. First down and 10 for the Pioneers. The Tesoro 35. Trio's going to dump it off underneath, throws behind the intended receiver.
Trio could still be running. There was nobody between Trio and about the 15-yard line. If he doesn't throw that ball and he just tucks it away and goes,
here's a nice play action pass, stepping up inside the pocket.
Look at the room.
There's not a lot of room out there. A lot of room to run. Exactly.
Our rule was always if you could hand it to him, run with it.
Or shot put it. Just little free throw there. Gober will set up in the slot to the right side. 2nd and 10. Merrifield to the near side. Brown directly behind Trio. Merrifield motion. Handoff Merrifield. Leo misses. Merrifield on his feet. Spinning, fighting, and down to the 21-yard line. That's just pure will right there by Devontae Merrifield.
What a run by Merrifield on that, Coach. He spun. He almost got tackled in the backfield. He was able to get a first down and then some. Watch this. Should have been tackled right there. Great balance. Here he gets hit, spins, and gets more yards.
This guy's going to be a great college running back. He's got terrific strength and balance.
Brown bottled up and gets out of the scrum and picks up about 2.5 yards on first down.
You know, if you're Tesoro and Western does score, you'd like them to take 4 minutes to do it. You know, run as much off as you can. But right now, if you're Tesoro, when the first guy hits, the second guy has to strip.
Here's Gober. Gober down inside the 10, and he gets pushed back right when he gets to the 10-yard line.
You know, this is a pretty good sequence of plays that Toby Howell and his staff are calling, because they've run trap inside, they've run straight base play inside, they've run the sweep. They've really done a good job of using their strength and
this is where defenses win you championships, huh, Coach?
You're right down here. This is it.
3:45 to go. Western trailing 21-7. Handoff to Gober. Gober's got a seam, and he gets hammered right when he gets to the 5-yard line and pushed back.
That was Nick Therian, number 6, and number 88, Garrett Reuter that time. And there is a timeout called by Western with 3:34 left in the game. Now, you know, this is what we came here to do. To have a game like this. To set the stage here, Kevin, that if Western scores and they onside kick, you know, this is what you work all summer for. This is what coaches go to clinics for, what they have those crazy all weekend meetings about, is to get the opportunity to play in a CIF championship game. And
Jim O'Connell's thinking it's not over till it's over.
That's right.
Well, we have to play, and he said finish. Did he not say finish at the beginning?
He did.
He's been almost
telling
perfect
those guys
in what his perception of the team and the words that he needed to use to describe the games, and today makes a lot of sense.
Well, there's our Baja Fresh players of the game. This one's not over with yet, but Devontae Merrifield with over 160 yards in this one, and Sean Calcagney with the 2 interceptions and the odd possession that we talked about early in the game. Special teams turnovers so far the key in this game for the Tesoro Titans, and that's why they're leading 21-7. But Western threatening right now. 2nd and goal from just outside the 5-yard line. Trio long count, fumble, loose ball on the turf.
On the ground again.
Tesoro's got it. I believe Rob Simmons came up with it. He did. That's Rob Simmons right there. That's his 2nd fumble recovery of the night. That's the 4th turnover, and there's your ball game, gentlemen.
You know, basic, fundamental aspect of the game, a simple quarterback center exchange you learned from day 1 in grammar school, and they could not execute that. Son of a gun. I mean, you look, the whole season comes down to one basic thing. It's the snap from center, and you lose it on that. It's unfortunate, but you know what? That's preparation, and give Tesoro credit. They were up for this task tonight.
The 4th turnover tonight for the Western Pioneers, and Rob Simmons with his 2nd fumble recovery of the night. 2 picks for Sean Calcagney.
Yeah, it's going to be a substitution violation because number 5, Ryan Craven, was coming in after the huddle.
I think there's just so much excitement going on down there right now. Those kids are so excited about that turnover.
You know, what if you're over getting a drink of water?
That's okay. I'll take that turnover. You can penalize me 5 yards.
You're over getting a drink of water, and someone said, hey, we got the ball back.
Now Tesoro has got to be very possessive of the football here for the next couple minutes and not give anything up.
Well, they've taken good care of the ball all year.
If they strip a ball right now, get a quick score, then game's back on.
Well, I'd like to know statistically how many fumbles that Tesoro's had throughout this year. I would venture to say very few, if any. I've never seen them fumble the ball on offense.
Well, the one game they lost that 43-42 thriller at Dana Hills. There were a number of miscues. I believe they had 5 turnovers in that game back in
any fumbles?
week 3. Evan Handa, Mr. Reliable. Bottom of the pile there. Coming in is Nick Decker. He's had a nice game and a nice career, and very tough ball player there, right there, Nick Decker, number 52.
You have an injury timeout. There's somebody on the ground there, and I can't see the number.
There's an injured Titan on the field.
Well, one of the
That's
Titans
a cramp.
are down.
Yeah, it is.
Just a cramp.
Yeah.
All right, tell you what, 21-7, 3:12 remaining. Don't go anywhere, but we're going to take a quick timeout and come back and finish this one up. Good news for Tesoro fans with a 21-7 lead. Eric Anderson, one of the stalwart offensive linemen for Jim O'Connell's Tesoro Titans, is going to walk off with just a cramp.
Just a cramp. You've had them, right?
Oh,
it's like the
middle of the night.
Yes, that's right.
It was 2 o'clock in the morning when the toll rolls up and you're dancing around. Your wife says, what are you doing?
Got my XM radio, man.
Yeah.
I'm doing a little shakedown.
Just keep stretching it.
Clock winding down. Now under 3 minutes to go. Second and 14.
You know
Evan
what?
Handa.
You can see some things happening here that are very indicative of why Tesoro can break off long runs. They block downfield with receivers, linemen. They really do a great job of getting to second-level defenders and knocking them down.
It's a way to create big runs, Bill. You're right.
You bet it is. Those are home run blocks.
Because once you get in that secondary, they're gone.
There's a pretty valuable guy right there. Nick Nelson has had himself one phenomenal
he
high
deserves,
school career.
I think, the most valuable player of the entire team.
Entertainment on demand. Tired of waiting for the movie to start at a specific time, or do you hate running to the video store? It's easy when you have Cox Digital Cable to access entertainment on demand. Just tune into Channel 1, press select, search hundreds of movies, see previews and more, and you can access this 24 hours a day. Pause, rewind, fast forward, just like the DVD. It's a great program, entertainment on demand. And Nick Nelson, you were talking about him, great demeanor, Not real high, not real low. He's got kind of that Matt Leinart, even keel
great leader
demeanor about him.
Great leader, great responder to adversity, and great thrower. Great, just, mechanically very sound.
Their Orange County storybook career with Matt Leinart, Heisman Trophy presentation tomorrow. Best wishes to the Leinart family and Matt. And here's Nelson coming out of the end zone, almost a safety there. Just got across the goal line.
Now that was an interesting thing. When he was over there with Jim O'Connell, and this was very interesting. He says, look, on this pass, if it's there, throw it. If it isn't, run it. And that's a coaching spot that, I mean, he had to have received on that sideline at that time.
And now your special teams, and we said special teams were so huge in this game. The Tesoro punt team right now is put in a position of protect like crazy, and then you got to go down and cover this guy Merrifield, who has more moves than Beacons.
Well, they're going to get great field position.
There you go.
It's like your IHOP one. Okay.
Steven Tinoco right at the end line. So the snap has got to be perfect.
You go for the block?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Or the return.
If there was less time in this game, under some circumstances, I might take a safety here and kick the ball from the 20, not let them get 2 touchdowns.
Well, a block, and if they get a roughing the kicker, it's an automatic first down.
Yeah.
So I'd rather, I don't know, for me, I think I'd rather set up a return and let that man, number 3, do his thing. Here's Devontae Merrifield taking it on the fly. He's got it. Merrifield to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. He's got the corner. Will he get into the end zone? Where is he going to be out?
Yes,
I think he's in.
Touchdown.
They set up the return, and Devontae Merrifield took a line drive punt and took it into the end zone.
And those are the ones to return, those line drive punts.
How about that? You just took
40 yards.
A team that had driven down the field, fumbled the ball. They walked off the field with their heads down. They held on defense. And can one guy make a difference in a football game? How about that guy right there?
Sure can. Coach, you had the best suggestion. Why not take the safety?
Well, if you do, I think
from the 20, and then there's still 2 scores.
I agree.
Now they're only 1 score away.
I believe the safety avoids 2 touchdowns. That would be the worst case scenario if you're Tesoro.
You have to look at this as time possession. How much time is it going to require to score a touchdown? That's potentially a 1-play score.
Well, it gives us a little more drama,
important here.
A little more drama.
Tafoya's kick is up. It's good. Don't go anywhere. 21-14, 2:21 remaining in the ball game. Devontae Merrifield, a 40-yard punt return for touchdown, and 23 carries, 174 yards, and a 40-yard punt return. You know, after he came back after week number 8, after being on the shelf for 2 weeks, the first time he touched the ball in that Savannah game, in the championship game for the league championship, he took it 99 yards the other way.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Get ready for the onside kick.
He's now over 2,000 yards for the season. All right, here we go. How about a little drama?
And he becomes Orange County's #1 rusher.
Big bounce.
Let it go out of bounds.
I think they got it. I think Western got the ball.
Western has the ball.
Yes, they
Western
did.
Got it.
Holy cow, folks.
What a perfectly executed
That ball took the
kick.
perfect hop.
I mean,
it was touched by a Tesoro player, couldn't come down with it, and it was loose.
You practice that kick all summer, and you may never get to use it.
Here it is.
But in this case,
there's the hop. Missed.
Manny Tafoya. Boy,
almost better to let that one just go out of bounds.
Boink.
Because the touch here.
No, it would have been caught by Western.
Great execution there. Special teams back in the forefront of this game, that's for sure. Now, Western has made 2 huge special teams plays, so we're even up.
Do you smell overtime? Oh my gosh.
Well, they might go for 2 points. I'd go for 2, I think.
Hand off Merrifield, and he's going to be bottled up in the backfield. No timeouts now for Western, so they've got to get back on the ball and hustle. A loss of about well, call it back to the line of scrimmage as the clock runs. They have no timeouts left. They've got to keep, Tesoro has got to keep Merrifield in bounds.
You know, in one respect, this is where a simple offense helps. You're only going to do a few things, so get up and do them. Oops.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
Joe Brown, they keep him in bounds, and he's going to lose 4. They blew that up, and a miscue by Trio. Again, guys, I think you stick with your bread and butter. I put
Just
the
keep
ball in
playing
number
your
3's
basic
hands
plays.
and play the odds right now.
You know,
Exactly, Kevin. Go with the basics.
Number 3 got you back in the game. And so far, he hasn't touched the ball in this drive. And you've got to give him the football.
I'd snap it right to him in the shotgun and let him run with it.
Not a bad idea.
All this time breaking the huddle. 22 seconds have run off the clock.
3rd and 12. Trio running. He's going to go down. He's going to go down for a loss back at the 47-yard line. And they've got to get back on the ball. They've got 1 play left. Here's your ball game, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, Tony Leo came on the blitz, made the tackle.
They're trying to throw a pass.
He was running off the field like the game was over. There's another down.
Well, hey, they've got to get a play.
What a great play that time by Leo. Oh, my goodness.
Trio's
that was the
taking his
defensive
time.
play of the game right there. Do you see him bring him down with one arm?
But I don't understand. Trio's taking forever to get the play.
I know.
Toby Howell, he just kind of saunters back into the huddle. 30 seconds left.
Even if they
don't have any timeouts.
Even if they make a first down,
they're going to have no
they're
time
going
to
run
run
out of
another
time.
play.
Longest field goal is 31 yards, but that doesn't even matter right now. They've got to score 7. Trio back to pass, scrambling, throws, and the receiver falls down, and there's your ball game. The Tesoro Titans have made history tonight here at LaBarge Stadium, winning a CIF Division IX championship as the celebration.
Excessive celebration, but
at
this point, who really cares?
If I'm those guys,
I'd be celebrating too.
You know, you could change the penalty to hysteria.
Hysteria lane.
Boy. But this one came down in the last play.
Unsportsmanlike field contact on the offense.
You know, this was my favorite formation, Vince. We used to call it TAC, T-A-K.
All right, double zero.
Take O'Connell and his staff.
Take a
Dave
knee.
Penhall, Scott McKnight, Reed Deal,
Wow,
George
they're
Bonanno,
excited. Congratulations
Foster,
to
Mike
Tesoro.
Milner, Kevin McNair, the speed and conditioning coach.
There you go. Coach is happy.
There he is. There's a good look at Jim O'Connell.
Jim, congratulations.
He designed
Great
a blueprint
season.
4 years ago. And that blueprint and the construction is complete. They've topped off the building. They have won the championship. Your 2004 Division IX CIF champions. There they are as the celebration continues here at Tesoro High School. What a win for the Tesoro Titans in a thriller, 21-14. The fans on their feet. Jim O'Connell executed his game plan tonight, gentlemen, to perfection.
But I'll tell you what, just while we have a moment here looking at these kids, for all the people in the truck, for everybody, the Huntington Learning Center post-game report. Let's get down to Garth on the sideline.
Wow.
Well, it's absolute mayhem on the field here at Orange Coast College. I'm now with Tesoro coach Jim O'Connell. Buddy, you did it. Great job tonight. How does it feel?
It feels absolutely unbelievable. I'm just so proud of the kids and everything that they've done. It's just been a great, great journey, and I can't say enough about the kids.
I know you could go on about all of them, but the heart and soul of your team, the offensive line, they got it done for you tonight.
Yes, they absolutely did, and you know, we did struggle a bit at times on offense, but I'm really, really proud of all the linemen on the defensive side as well, because they really stepped up tonight.
And one last thing, how do you sum up this victory for your football team in just its 3rd year of the varsity program? Your Division IX CIF champs. How's that sound?
It sounds great, and I really am not sure what to say. I'm just absolutely overjoyed.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, go join your players. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach Jim O'Connell got him to the promised land, and somewhere around here is our own Kelly Stavis with one of the players.
Well, the incredible journey is complete as you get a look at the celebration there. Dustin Deere right in the middle, Huntington Learning Center post-game report. And Jim O'Connell, he just seems a little shell-shocked right now, gentlemen. I think he knew he could do this. They planned to do this, but the reality of this happening, I think, is just overwhelming right now.
Well, there are a couple of things that come to mind. Then we'll do this right after our report from Kelly.
All right, thanks a lot. We've got Senior Rob Simmons here. 2 fumble recoveries that were just crucial to the game. How does it feel to cap off your high school career this
awesome.
way?
Feels awesome. We love it. It's what we worked for the past 4 years. Just awesome. Love it.
Tell me about the heart of this team.
Oh, we got so much courage. Everybody's just bust their ass every day, every week in practice. We always work hard. Is what we wanted. Got it.
All right, congratulations. Go celebrate with your teammates. Back upstairs.
T stands for champion tonight here at LaBarge Stadium. Team taking a moment to reflect, and Jim O'Connell right in the middle there with Nick Nelson and a big hug. And I'll tell you what, it's a total team effort with what they've done at Tesoro High School in 3 years of varsity play.
You look at Toby Howell there, and there's really no words you can say to console a team that just went this far and didn't make it all the way in, but you really have to congratulate them. They did a great job.
Well, Toby and his staff, he's only got one full-time guy on his campus, and Mike Bodkin. But any team that's been to the CIF Championship 2 years in a row has done a phenomenal job. So our hats off to Toby and his entire staff and his football team.
There's the Tesoro Titans down in front of their student body. Let's go to Garth.
Well, thanks a lot. Joining me now is senior linebacker Tony Leo. Had a phenomenal season and a huge game tonight. You knocked down a pass, deflected a pass in the first half in the red zone, and a big quarterback sack there to seal this game or help seal the game. How does this feel?
It feels amazing. You know, we worked so hard for 4 years. You know, had a tough season sophomore year, but we worked hard and we kept at it. That's what we worked for. We knew we had a great team. We knew we played our best football. We'd be great. We'd win this game.
In your final game as a Tesoro Titan, you and your fellow teammates, your seniors, how do you sum up this incredible year that you've had going from literally worst to first?
I settled it as with one word, brotherhood. You know, we came in as a team. We finished as a team. We knew if we worked and played team football, we'd win this game.
Well, congratulations to you, Tony Leo, the star linebacker for the Tesoro Titans. Let's take it back upstairs, guys.
All right, great job, Garth. And you can just see the emotion of the Tesoro players. They're shell-shocked, and this is what it's all about. They're playing for the CIF championship plaque, and I'll tell you guys, these kids will never ever forget this night. And you know, on the other side, Tesoro and Western, you know, they're holding their heads high, and they're standing like good sports out there watching the trophy presentation as the fans here are just in. There it is right there. Simmons, Nelson, and O'Connell. Principal has got to be pleased
That's
with
Dan Birch in the background right there, the principal. And again, the emotions of a game like this, having been in this business for most of my life, it's hard to explain to people who have never done this what that feels like to see a unified effort end up in a championship. And also on the other side, it's hard to explain how bad you feel when you don't win this game. And I know I feel for the Western kids and the coaches. They've been here twice and come up empty, but you know what? You know what it takes to even get to this point in the season.
Oh, it really does, Coach. And Tony Leo summed it up, being that it was brotherhood. They all stuck together, and they win it as a team. We're
Let's
very
go
proud of that team.
downstairs to Kelly. She's got the quarterback, Nick Nelson.
And he's really been the leader of this team. He started under center every single game that Tesoro High School has played. Nick, did you ever think when you started 1-9 the first season just 2 years ago that you'd end up here holding that trophy over your head?
Personally, we all had it in the back of our minds. Our coaches told us all along that we're gonna get better, always get better than that, and we did. Now we're here.
And how does it feel?
It feels great. I'm lost for words right now. I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so happy. It's great. I'm so happy for the guys.
You guys have so many talented players. You could very well easily be the team's MVP, though. What's in the future for you with football and school?
I'm not really worried about that right now. I'm just worried about getting through this year and having fun with my guys while I can. That's all I'm really worried about.
Okay. Well, congratulations on a great season and, of course, the CIF championship. Great job, Nick Nelson.
There is the quintessential portrait that'll be in the coach's office and every player's home for the rest of their lives. That is the championship pose right there. Tesoro, your 2004 Division IX champions. Guys, it's been a great year.
My last comment, first, thanks to both of you for just a wonderful year, to Marcus and Gordon and Tina and James and Bill and everybody.
And all the cameramen.
Everybody. What a great crew we have. But let me tell you something. What you just heard from Nick Nelson, in team sports, there is a huge difference between me and us. And I'll tell you what you looked at tonight out there on both sides was a whole bunch of us. And that is, it's amazing what you can accomplish when nobody cares who gets the credit and everybody pulling on the same end of the rope.
Amen.
Thanks again, fellas.
Great job. Thanks, Kevin. Great working with you. You too, Bill. And thanks to all our sponsors to make this possible. We had a great time this year and great high school football.
Gentlemen, it's been an honor and a pleasure for Garth Wyckoff, Kelly Stavis, Vince Ferragamo, and of course, the coach, the dean, Bill Cunardy. I'm Kevin Turner. Once again, the final score, Tesoro 21, Western 14. So long, everyone, and good night.